names were.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I warned Bink to be on speed dial just in case you didn't show up today.
In case I was still in cuffs and couldn't get my call out.
So I'm glad you're back.
I'll be honest, you guys would not be my first call. I'd be my lawyer.
Well, that would be a smart decision.
I would not ring you up
legit,
first.
Drew, don't you agree? Cody's issue, they're like, obviously whatever you say can be used against you and all that. Cody would not be able to not talk.
Oh, yeah.
Cody would want to explain the situation and talk.
Shut up. Whoa. Let me tell you why this is fine.
Cody would call an attorney and be like, hey, whatever you do not say anything. Just tell him you want a lawyer and do not answer any questions. And Cody would be like, but I want to, I can answer the questions right now. You would get yourself in more trouble.
You know? So, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, I think I would be the same way.
I would try to explain, unless I was guilty of it, then I'd try to shut up,
I mean, either way, you should shut up, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm glad you're back.
Yeah, I am back.
We'll find out where you actually were.
Yeah, I'll tell you in a little bit.
Here in about 15 minutes or so. It is a Friday. We've got some fun things planned today. Number one, Josh Briscoe will join us at 11 o'clock. We'll talk some Chiefs football. He has gone to your poker game, so I definitely want to ask him about that. And in the 1 o'clock hour, noon hour today at 12:10, we'll talk with Gabe DeArmond from PowerMizzou.com. Huge game in Nashville. Mizzou taking on Vandy. We'll get into that. We also will talk Sunflower Showdown, KU State. The Jayhawks trying to snap this, 17-year run, or whatever it's up to these days, of the Wildcats beating the Jayhawks. And then the 1 o'clock hour, it is a Fan Club Friday, brought to you by Jay Rieger & Co. We're going to have Sarah from Jay Rieger & Co. in studio. We'll have some cocktails. We'll talk about Halloween a little bit, I'm sure, heading into the weekend and looking ahead to next week with that. Chiefs football. And then we also have a teacher. Like an
actual Professor Tapp, an actual teacher.
Yeah, we have Miss Dugan coming in studio. Looking forward to a Fan Club Friday.
You might know her from Instagram or TikTok. Mixing it up on a Fan Club Friday.
She's got like 350,000, maybe more. Maybe I'm underestimating.
I think she's going to be very important for the show. One, she can teach us about the youth of America. We just went over all the slang last week for a Professor Tapp segment. But also, I saw over the summer, she did an entire segment on how men should behave in dating situations as a single person. And seeing how you are a single person, that feels like maybe there's some tips or tricks.
Oh, boy.
For the trade. So it feels like a good mix at 1 o'clock.
Yeah. Well, we see Miss Dugan is going to join us in the 1 o'clock hour today. All right, let's talk a little Chiefs football. Yesterday, a big chunk of the show, obviously, was around the sports betting and illegal poker stuff. And so we didn't get into some of the reporting out there from Jeremy Fowler and others about the trade deadline, which is less than 2 weeks away. It's a week from Tuesday, actually, the NFL trade deadline. You and I, a couple days ago, had briefly spoke about both of us thinking there's a chance. I think you had said you would be willing to trade Christian Fulton. I said, I'd be more willing to look at trading somebody like Josh Williams than Christian Fulton. I want the depth. Well, ESPN put out their top 25 candidates that could be traded. And I'm curious, how many of those do you want the Chiefs to look at? And also, is there anybody there where you're like, hey, I don't want Buffalo, or I don't want Indianapolis, for example, or Denver for that matter?
I think that's what makes the list interesting. Obviously, you're not going to be surprised to find out that two of the fits listed in Jeremy Fowler's top 25 free agents are Jalen Phillips and Breece Hall. That is not shocking news to anybody. I still don't think they're going to be in the running back market, and we can talk more about it in the show later. I still don't think that's there. Look, if Jalen Phillips is available and they think they can get somebody, or if for some reason Quinnen Williams, whose name is starting to circle as a possible trade candidate for the actively winless Jets, and obviously Jermaine Johnson and some of these other ones that might be available, I am interested. I think that when you start looking at the trade fits, the thing that stood out to me the most is there's no interior guys on this entire list, Gold. There's a list of 25 guys, and they are almost all exclusively edge. Edge players after edge players after edge players. So in order to solve the current gap they have in the middle part of their offensive line, that's going to be a challenge based on the available free agents in any kind of meaningful way. Can they get some random vet that does the job of Derek Nottie or Omar Norman Lott and is meant to be a run-stuffing guy for a fifth or a sixth? Yeah, probably. Impactful interior defensive guys, unless it's Quinnen Williams, the answer is pretty much it. If there was one move the Chiefs could make that I would be like, oh boy, you all are in big trouble, it'd be a player like that. More than even edge, more than even running back or Breece Hall. If they added a player like Quinnen Williams, and you guys are in trouble. I don't think they're going to get that kind of player. I don't think they're going to swing for that big of a fence. But for the Chiefs, that'd be the only one that I'd be like, whoa, running back would just be fun. That's the most fun
I just don't like Breece Hall. I understand why everybody's excited. I think the tricky thing with him is the other teams that might be interested in him, but also the financial implication beyond this year. Are you willing to trade for someone that you might only have around for a year, or are you wanting to trade for a long-term answer at running back? And by long-term, I'm talking 2 years or so.
Yeah.
Breece Hall eventually is going to need to get paid, and he's going to get a pretty good contract, I think. He's pacing for over 1,000 yards. The only benefit after last night for this conversation is the other teams that we've thought need running backs, the Chargers, for example, maybe they're feeling like, okay, we're going to get Hampton back, and Vidal looks pretty good the last 2 games.
He does?
Certainly last night he looked great. They destroyed the Minnesota Vikings.
That was a beatdown of
So
epic
are the
proportions.
Chargers still feeling like they need to go trade for a running back? I think 2 of the teams on this list for Breece Hall may not be interested anymore. The Chargers may not need to, and I don't think the Chiefs are going to be all that interested in trading for a running back. Next year, they need to either through the draft or free agency address it. Kareem Hunt's contract expires. Isaiah Pacheco's contract expires. So you'll go into next season basically with, Brashard Smith under contract, maybe Carson Steele. Like that's about it under contract at the running back spot heading into 2026. So if they were to make a running back trade, I think it would have to be with someone they believe is part of their 2026 and maybe even 2027 future. Otherwise, I think we're talking about a rotational type of defensive lineman that they can go out and get, and so that's where we get to the Jalen Phillips conversation. The Niners are also listed as a team that might be interested in his services. There's, Jermaine Johnson, I don't think is realistic for Kansas City, but those are the kind of names that I think we would be keeping an eye on.
Now, on the list, who do you not like for other teams? Because I'll say, the things that make other teams dangerous and which they are weak are wide receiver and defensive lineman for the Bills. We immediately agree there, I assume.
Yes, so the Bills getting a Chris Olave, for example. He's number 7 on this. And Chris Olave has dealt with some concussion problems, but when he's healthy,
nice year.
He's very good. He's doing it right now on a bad football team. He's got Spencer Rattler throwing the ball, who has been all right, but Olave has got 44 passes for 440 yards and 3 touchdowns this year. And think about that, 3 touchdowns. He has 13 career touchdowns because his availability is in question. I don't want the Buffalo Bills, for example, trading for him and getting him an outside threat. Jacoby Myers, look, I know he's listed even higher than Chris Olave. I'm not all that concerned if Jacoby Myers ends up on the Steelers or something. Like, to me, he's fine.
Jacoby Myers is like do I think it makes their team better? Yeah, sure, Gold. Okay, they are a slightly better team. Fine, I can accept that as part of the... but I don't know. That feels like the kind of player could just as easily be like, why did they add Jacoby Myers and he's not being involved in the offense? Like, I could see it just falling off the planet. There are a couple of trades a year where people are like, ooh, look who they added. And it doesn't matter. I saw Mark Andrews listed as an option for the Jacksonville Jaguars. That would scare me a little bit. But the problem is, the only teams I actively fear right now are Chargers, Denver, and Buffalo, and what they might add. Because they're still fighting for the division, and we saw the Chargers last night, a team we can talk about here in a few minutes. So I don't want them adding it. And the other 2 teams I mentioned have obvious deficiencies. Like the Broncos desperately need another offensive weapon. So if they added a real offensive weapon, not Jacoby Meyer, but they added like a Chris Olave type, same for either team, well then I'll take them more seriously because that's at least a player that I think adds serious, changes fundamentally how they operate.
I mean, the player listed number 1 on this is someone we've talked about for a year and a half, not to Kansas City, but to a rival. And Drew obviously is familiar with the situation. That's Trey Hendrickson. I mean, he's listed as a number 1 trade target, given where the Bengals are at as a team. And I know, we don't have to get into it. I know we all disagree on, how realistic it is for Cincinnati to get it on a run and make the playoffs and all that. But just talking from a trade perspective, let's say Cincinnati were to lose the next 2 weeks. They got the Jets and the Bears or whatever I think it is. But let's just say, they went 2-0 versus going 1-1 or 0-2. That can change this whole conversation for whether or not they actually would trade Trey Hendrickson. And that's a scenario where you should hope he gets traded to the 49ers or some. You don't want him.
NFC side.
You don't want him. You don't want him getting
Dallas.
Traded to the Colts, and adding another weapon to a defense that's playing pretty well.
I guess that's the thing. Who the Colts look to add right now?
Well, an edge. I think an edge. Yeah,
they're very balanced. Edge is probably the one position you could make an argument. They're playing. I mean, again, they're top 10 offensive and defensive team right now. They're one of only 3. We mentioned them earlier in the week: the Chiefs, the Colts, and now I can't remember who the third one was.
Patriots?
For
what now? The
3 teams that are top 10 on offense and defense.
Oh, who was the third?
Seattle, wasn't it?
Seattle.
There you go.
That's the other one. So NFC side, we don't have to worry about it. Yeah, I'll be watching closely. And I'll be honest, the Colts are the team who's going to add the most. Let's just accept that the Colts and the Bills should be the most aggressive. The Colts are in a window that there's no way they can be sure they can replicate this again. They have to take maximum advantage. If I were any of these teams, I would say, who should be the most aggressive team in the NFL at the NFL trade deadline? I would answer the Indianapolis Colts. How do you know you'll be able to get this performance again next year? If you're having the Flacco year, the Blake Bortles when he went to the AFC title, if you're having that year, be all the way in on it and try to capitalize on the opportunity in front of you. And if you're the Bills, you're just desperate because how many years are we going to spend having Josh Allen and not getting to Super Bowls? And so if you and the Patriots appear to have at least closed some significant ground on your ass. And if you're going to do that, you got to find a way to punch back for the first time in a long time.
I think to your point, so I think, Gold, you're right where, it might even be after just this week, but let's say in the next 2 weeks, if something happens, that'll dictate a lot of what happens. But I think, Cody, you're right where, because Trey Hendrickson is only on that 1 year little extension, the mini extension thing. So if you are the Colts and you think this might just be a one-off, for all we know, this could be the best chance that we have for the next foreseeable future to actually get something done. Also, the Lou Anarumo connection, former being in Cincinnati. It feels like that would fit with the Colts, but also to your point, if you're the Bills and you feel like this is a year where if you just get somebody on defense who can help rush the passer, then you would be more aggressive than normal to get that one person, even if it's only for just the rest of this season before they enter free agency.
There are only I'd say 4, I think, dynamic players that scare me when get added to a team. One is Trey Hendrickson, Jalen Waddle, who I don't think is going to get traded, but is being mentioned at least in trade conversations. But that's a big addition.
They should trade him, but I don't know if they will.
Yeah, because Tua can't see him. You know?
How about that? Tua's way too honest.
I know. Breece Hall, I would argue. And then I think Chris Olave and Jalen Phillips. That's it. That's the end of my list of players that I'm like, ooh, major impact. Even before Jermaine Johnson or some of these others where I feel like the impact is less. The funny part about this list for Drew, unfortunately, is there's 6 Cincinnati Bengals listed. And obviously
Logan Wilson just requested a trade yesterday, I think,
he did.
or today. I don't know.
It sounds like he's just mad because he's not playing anymore, and they went younger, and he's a reserve linebacker. So they'll move him for a conditional 7th-round pick. Let's be real. Probably. They're not getting anything more than that.
No. And honestly,
some team needs some linebacker depth, then yeah, fine. Logan Wilson gets traded.
We mentioned the Chargers. I do kind of want to look forward to the rest of the NFL slate a little bit, but they looked pretty good last night.
They did. They bounced back.
We back to worrying about them a little bit,
What it did for me, I said it yesterday going in, to me, it was if you wanted to still believe the Chargers were going to factor into these AFC West races and have a chance to win it, they had to win last night. Otherwise, they would have been losers of 4 or 5. So that was a must-win game. Carson Wentz is terrible. He's also hurt. They're going to finally go back to J.J. McCarthy, it sounds like, next week. But that was a game where the Chargers flat out dominated. Their running game was awesome yesterday. They were able to get this young tight end, Gadsden, who has been great for 2 weeks in a row now, and looks like they found something. That's a long-term thing in the AFC West that you don't like seeing. It looks like the Chargers found a legit tight end moving forward for them. Now you have Bowers. The Chiefs have Kelsey this year, but then after that, all of a sudden you can go from the best to you might have the third. You might be have the third best tight end or the worst tight end in the division, depending on what the Chiefs do after this season, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because of Gadsden and obviously Bowers. The Broncos,
Gadsden did nothing for 4 games in a row.
He barely played. Yeah.
And then came out of nowhere. And all of a sudden is, I don't know,
he's
a top 10 tight end in the NFL, the way he's playing right now. I'm not sure he's actually that in the long term, but my God, he looks like a real weapon.
He's unlocked something there for that offense. I was impressed. Yeah, I mean, I thought that was really impressive. The huge swing in the game early when it looked like a pick 6 was thrown by Herbert. They said it was incomplete. It goes from being 7-0 Vikings to then a long touchdown drive for the Chargers, and they never looked back. They just had to have that one. Otherwise, to me, they would not have really been a huge factor in the AFC West race. Now it looks like, once again, it's going to be a 3-team thing for a while.
Yeah, you can't rule anyone out of the AFC West yet. They've all shown times in the season in which they've had warts. And for Denver, it's can they score? Can they consistently score? Are there things there? But they're winning, right? They came from behind. They didn't lose to the Giants. They beat the Giants. And here's the upcoming Chargers schedule. Next week, they have the Titans. That, for sure, has to be a win. I don't care if it's on the road or not. But then it's Steelers, Jags, Eagles, Chiefs for the next 5 with the Raiders sprinkled in there. So they'll get tested. They've got the, I think, hardest remaining schedule if you just look at the teams on paper at the way they're playing, not the strength of schedule remaining, which we could look at later. But I do think that they are at least a serious team inside the division once again. And that game last night was just mostly kind of a joke. The Chargers, for whatever it's worth, they have the, let's see, I don't know, middle of the road. About the same as the Chiefs, Gold. Strength of schedule remaining, at least on that end. So nothing too crazy. As far as the NFL schedule goes, I think that this is a really interesting week in the sense that we're halfway through the season-ish. We're not fully there, but we're right at that marker where teams you start taking seriously. And so last night, the same way you treated the Chargers, I think this is the weekend of when I decide you're either dead, I take you seriously, or like you're a real contender. So for instance, the Ravens don't beat the Bears, you're dead. It was nice seeing you. Gold, we're no longer entertaining the possibility of them being a serious contender and we don't have to bother with it. Then if you look at like the Colts, right? Like they're taking on the Titans. Nothing that game. But the Broncos against the Cowboys, I think is very interesting. The division games are what they're. The AFC, the Steelers versus the Packers. I get to decide whether I take these teams seriously at the end of this week, which I do like from a weekend perspective.
For the Ravens, just the math too. I mean, as you said, you get to 1-6, it is over. Whereas if the Ravens look really impressive against Chicago, who's on a roll right now, and Lamar looks good, and the defense shows any sign of improvement, you can say, okay, are they capable of going on a run here a little bit? That would be something to watch versus what we've seen at this point in time from the Baltimore Ravens. So yeah, that's what I'm intrigued by. Although for our circa picks, and we'll talk about it later as our group, I think a lot of us like Chicago to cover the 6.5. Not really sold that their defense can get it all figured out. And then for me, Buffalo, the fact they're facing Carolina with Andy Dalton means it's a little more of an interesting game. Like, Andy Dalton might be 37 years old or whatever it is, but he gives the Panthers a better chance to beat a team like Buffalo.
He
just
are
does.
4-3. They have the same record as the Chiefs. If the Bills lose to the Panthers, until they make a trade, I'll be viewing them different this year. They feel, and it's too early to say this, Cole, but you know what the Bills have felt like a good chunk of this season? A team whose window finally caught up with them. We mention this all the time. The run the Chiefs, Bills, and Ravens is on. They don't usually have three teams continuing their run for this length of time. There's usually down years mixed in there. Now, the Chiefs, one team can dominate like that. They have never had a down year. They've maintained their level. Down year for them is 11 wins and goes to the AFC Championship game. So essentially, they don't have down years. But when you look at like the Bills and the Ravens are in the middle of it. They're getting hit like an absolute rock right now across the board. So they're kind of screwed. But when we start looking at the Bills, they just kind of don't have the same dominant energy we're used to. They're much worse on defense than they've been.
The defense allows every team to be in a game. That's the thing where it's like, you see them as 7.5-point favorites, the Bills on the road. They're coming off of a bye. That's the only part here is like that, as we were having a discussion earlier in the week about
that should help them.
As the threats and how big of a threat they are and when's the next loss coming for Kansas City. I do want to see what their defense looks like out of the bye week. Did they make some improvements there? Otherwise, I think they might be in for more of a battle than people think against the Panthers, who are getting some confidence going, even if it's Andy Dalton, which in a weird way I think is a slight upgrade for them.
We talked about this, although I thought that about Carson Wentz, and I watched that game last night. I saw Kevin Clark ask this question. I think he was asking for real. What is the oldest quarterback who you could put on that team, who you would get better play than Carson Wentz is giving right now? Like,
active quarterback?
No.
Tom Brady?
Anybody.
I mean, is the obvious answer.
Then,
on the
the
street
answer is still you'll take Tom Brady even off the street if that's the case.
What about?
Now, his offensive line's not great.
My answer
either.
was Kurt Warner. Too far?
Yes.
Are you sure?
How old is Kurt
54?
Warner?
Yeah, come on.
Dude,
now.
did you watch Carson Wentz last night?
I know. I understand.
Kurt Warner's
think
54 and hasn't, come on.
I think that is that's rude to Carson. I know that he didn't look good, but that's crazy. 54?
Cody, let me ask you, when do you think the last time Kurt Warner took a snap?
20...
13, probably 14.
I was a
2010?
freshman in college, okay? In 2009.
Oh, pretty close.
Okay.
I said 2010.
I was being too fair.
So no, it's
So it's not him?
not Kurt Warner.
I don't know, man.
Come on.
I had to watch Carson Wentz play.
No. He's
Peyton
also
Manning's
hurt.
too broken. What about
He's
Eli?
hurt.
Would you take Eli?
I think Eli, actually, Eli might be another one up there.
I want to know the oldest quarterback you would take to start over Carson Wentz, who is not in the NFL. How old is Eli? 45?
Is Tom Brady older than him?
Eli hasn't played in 6 years.
Is Tom Brady older than him?
I don't think that matters based on the way Carson Wentz is playing.
Oh, come on.
If Tom Brady's older than Eli
Brady's
Manning,
48, yes.
Okay, Tom Brady's the answer. He's 48. Tom's the answer, and it's
Tom's
nobody
48.
else. Nobody else older than him.
Nobody else older than him. We're capping it there.
48. I mean that's a stretch. Like Tom's got to have a good O line, A decent O-line at least.
I mean, this is the year where Andy Dalton's going to make a start this weekend. Joe Flacco is the active starting quarterback for an NFL team. So it's not like
but they've played,
the old
though.
guys don't get a chance. They got to get J.J. McCarthy.
You're not even mentioning Tyrod Taylor, who might start for the Jets. Tyrod Taylor's not exactly 24 years
How
old.
old is he?
He's 36.
Cody, you're trying to pull Kurt Warner off the TV set where he hadn't played in
I'm not so sure
15
he
years.
wouldn't
That's
execute.
crazy.
I'm not so sure he wouldn't execute the offense better.
15 years
I
later,
am not
though, or
so sure
16?
he couldn't at least get a pass out in the flat to Justin Jefferson. You know?
Oh, if we're talking, could he do a drive? Oh, well, then yeah, I think Kurt Warner could
full
do
You're
a
just
drive.
saying he
football
wouldn't
game?
make it 4 quarters.
No way.
Carson Wentz barely made it 4 quarters. He's coming out of the game with his wrist hurting.
Kurt Warner would
He
get
was already hurt going into the game, too.
Kurt would get sacked one time, and then he
won't
would
get
be,
up.
Nah, yeah, he'd be like, nah, man, I'm done.
He had the
I'm
Life
not gonna
Alert
do
commercial, but in a football game.
Cam Newton came off of the set. Would he do better than Kurt Warner or better than
Yes.
Carson Wentz right
yes.
now?
Yes. Now it is. The slander is
Yes.
strong towards Carson Wentz. Look, the guy's not playing well. Let's not act like he's the worst quarterback in the league.
Cam
period.
Newton would be better than Carson Wentz right now. I
They're
absolutely think
they're
that.
starting to be convinced Vinny Testaverde would have a chance.
That's crazy.
Someone says
That's
Cody wants to roll.
disrespectful.
Cody wants John Elway still to be playing.
I'm surprised you. How old is John Elway now? 60.
Dude, come on. I'm not that
He's
crazy.
65 years old, okay? He's collecting Social Security, all right? Like, come on.
Can you imagine?
Carson Wentz is bad. He's not like John Elway straight off his AARP membership bad.
I think Tom Brady's the answer. I do think Cam Newton, though.
The better answer, someone says, right, Ryan Tannehill hasn't played in years, and he's younger. Pick him instead.
Honestly, and look, they're getting
I'm
ready to
surprised
get
that
J.J.
he
McCarthy
hasn't gotten
back, but-
signed. Is it because he's not
37 now. But
Oh, I understand, but is the reason Ryan Tannehill hasn't played in 3 years or whatever is because he hasn't been offered a starter gig? He's like, nah, man,
I don't know. He might
I'm
just
coming
be
back and I'm
happy.
starting.
You know, 2 years not playing, his body's not getting beat up. He might, just.
No, I was going to say, how often do you watch a player and you just like genuinely feel bad? Like, please stop.
I feel bad for Carson.
Please
Wentz.
stop putting him out there. Like, I felt genuinely, like, part of the way through the game, you're like, I just feel bad for Carson Wentz. Like, get him off the field.
Well, he was-
this
yeah,
is like,
he
he's
was hurt.
active. Like, this is hard to watch. You feel bad for the person.
Because their third quarterback, the rookie from Minnesota or whatever, like they clearly have no faith in him playing at all.
I mean, it couldn't have been
We
worse.
always say that a lot in sports.
He's a quarterback on an active roster.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, they lost 37-10. It actively, other than what the Chiefs did to the Raiders,
the
previous
Chargers
week.
played really well. That's why I liked the Chargers quite a bit last night. We talked about that yesterday.
When do you think the division? Do you think it'll be the final week of the season that the division is decided?
The AFC West?
Yes.
The Chiefs played the Raiders last week. The Broncos. Week 17.
It's trending that way.
Week 17.
So you think the week before we'll know?
Yeah.
I think
Whether or not.
so. I'm curious. Who do the Chargers have next week? Because the Chiefs obviously have
Titans.
the Bills. Okay, so to me, this is the thing. If the Chargers win again, what would they be? 6-2?
Yeah.
I think if the Chiefs
No.
were to,
They already
They
have
have
3
3
losses.
losses.
So
They're
they'd be-
5-3 right now, guys. The
they'd be
Broncos are
6-3.
5-2. Chiefs are 4-3.
okay, the Broncos are fine, but let's say the Chargers get to 6-3. If the Chiefs beat the Commanders and then they lose, let's say they're 5-4, still a game back halfway through. I feel like the Chargers might be able to hang at least because I think we looked at at the remaining schedule for the Chargers. It's not the easiest, but it's also not like death row, if you will.
I think every week's going to be a fight, but they're not going to be like,
I think it'll go to the end.
yeah, I think it's going to be 17 or 18. I think it's going to be down to the bitter end.
All right, up next, let's talk a little college football. 2 massive games locally. You got the Sunflower Showdown, and you've got major college football playoff implications in Nashville with Vanderbilt and Mizzou. We'll get into that matchup and the Heisman implications as well next.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Join me, Drew Nixon, this weekend, Saturday the 25th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at T-Mobile at the Legends in KCK to celebrate and meet your local first responders. It's a free event with food, games, giveaways, and exclusive offers. See you there.
It's time to build that dream deck over at All Weather Decks. Schedule a free estimate today at 913-206-1974 or or online at allweatherdecks.net. All Weather Decks, the right deck at the right price.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-979-3168. 800-979-3168. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-979-3168.
Paid for by term provider. Premiums will vary. Plans depend on age, location, and other factors. Visit bigloot.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-555-1509. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-555-1509. That's 800-555-1509. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-555-1509. 800-555-1509.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 and monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
J. Rieger & Co. Oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City. J. Rieger & Co. Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Winner of Best Craft Bourbon at the 2025 Ascot Awards. At 90 proof, it's rich, well-balanced, and oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City.
Fast cars, barbecue, and live music. Bring the family for Burnouts, a car show, Kids Zone, and Chris Jansen live Saturday night. It's Boost and Barbecue. Next Friday, October 24th, and Saturday, October 25th at Flying H Drag Strip, Odessa. Kids 12 and under are free. Online at boostandbbq.com. You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Huge college football games coming up tomorrow. Obviously, the Chiefs play Monday, so it allows us on a Friday maybe to key in on some college football more than we typically would. Monday, we will focus entirely on Chiefs Commanders out at Arrowhead. Josh Briscoe is going to join us, though, in 30 minutes. We will talk plenty of Chiefs with him. But let's start with Vanderbilt and Mizzou. That's the bigger game, no doubt. It has massive college football playoff ramifications. The Missouri Tigers coming off a really, really tough win on the road in overtime against Auburn. You've got Vandy, who has played, seemingly it seems like has played everybody at this point in time.
Who haven't they played? Their schedules.
You've got tough. Diego Pavia, who continues to go up and up the Heisman odds board. And I think if they were to get a win over Mizzou, he would have like the second best odds by the time we get to Monday morning. Right now, he has odds only worse than or tied with Marcel Reed at A&M. The Ohio State quarterback, 4-1. Simpson, 3.5, and then Fernando Mendoza at Indiana, also plus 330 or so. So that's the Heisman market. What do you guys make of this matchup? Missouri is a 2.5-point underdog. My question for Missouri is teams the last 2 weeks, Alabama and Auburn, and yes, they beat Auburn, they've been able to really key on Ahmad Hardy because it has been exposed a little bit that Prbula either his own ability, but more importantly, I think they don't have the deep threats. Like, it's not like there's not a Luther Burden on the team, okay? Yeah. You're not worried about them beating you down the field all that much. Like, Norwood, the tight end, is a nice piece, but he's an underneath guy. You're not going to go get a 30-yard pass to Norwood. So I think you can really focus on Hardy, and these SEC teams are really able to slow down this Missouri offense, and that's where I think they'll run into trouble again tomorrow.
So it's tough right now because Vanderbilt has been the more impressive team from a schedule perspective. Look, take out the South Carolina game because that doesn't look like they were a ranked opponent when Vanderbilt played them. But I don't know. They don't look like the same.
Both teams played South Carolina anyway.
Yeah. So, like, whatever. We can just move on from that. Back-to-back games against Alabama and LSU, who were top 10 ranked opponents when they faced them. They lost one to Alabama. They beat LSU. And now they have Missouri and Texas the next 2 weeks. Just ranked team after ranked team after ranked team. And so it's been a challenge, obviously, for Vanderbilt. The two things that stand out to me are, do they have an answer for if Pavia gets on the move? Missouri's had a little bit of trouble, and Drew, you can back this up. They've had a little bit of trouble when guys have gotten off script at quarterback. They're fine at getting pressure. They got a great defensive line. But when quarterbacks get off script, which Pavia's very good at, they don't necessarily have the corners to guard them all the way down the field and run to a little bit of this. We'll ask Gabe DeArmond about this later. That's my biggest matchup concern on defense for them. But yeah, I am worried about maybe the shine coming off Prbula a little bit. We as a reminder, there were massive questions about if he was going to even be the starter, if he was the right guy to be a starter, and the limitations that might exist there. In the last couple of weeks, the limitations have shown a little bit more. The only thing that helps him is anybody who goes to Vanderbilt, this is kind of like Vegas, because people like going to Nashville and it's an SEC. You get quite a few Missouri fans there. It's not like
it's going to be a great atmosphere.
You know?
Yeah, it's a great trip. What college game day is going to be? College game day is there, yeah. And this is number 15, number 10, Saturday afternoon slate. Like, yeah, I'm excited for this game tomorrow. I just, the same kind of reasons I gave in the Alabama game, frankly, I'm a little concerned, except Diego Pavia also, and this is another game where the better quarterback is on the other team.
Yeah.
You know, Vanderbilt has the better quarterback. Nobody's disputing that. What do you make of this matchup, Drew?
I think that it's interesting because Missouri's defense has really kept them in games for the most part. Like, I think their offense has been lackluster, especially obviously against Alabama. Third down, they only had one third down conversion. You're never winning against a good team that way. Defense kept them in the game. Defense did their job against Auburn. Fortunately, they didn't lose because Auburn missed 2 field goals. It feels like if they're going to win this game, the offense is going to have to give the defense something, where I think the game is going to be tight. I think the defense can hang. As you said, Cody, they got a very good defensive line. Secondary's been good. Toriano Pride's been great. It feels like they've got the potential to win, but we need to see what they might need the ceiling of Bo Prbula to show up for one game, just one game, to give him a little bit of a breather, because if you get top-tier Bo Prbula and what he can be, then they're going to be able to win the game. I also think it's interesting for the offensive side of things is, can you get Ahmad Hardy going? Because last week they really struggled in the trenches. They really had an issue running the football just in general. So if Vandy is dominant in the trenches again, then I think it's not going to bode very well for the Missouri Tigers.
Who do you guys think is going to win the game?
I pick Vandy.
Yeah, I'm on Vandy.
I'm on Vandy too. Yeah. We'll see. I mean, I'd love to see one of the local schools in the college football playoff. I genuinely would.
It gives them more margin for error otherwise Mizzou's got to win out if they lose this game to have a shot at the playoff.
Yeah, I mean, a 3-loss team, I think it's over if they lose. Yeah. I don't think a 3-loss Missouri team's getting in.
They only have 2 losses to lose. They only have 1 loss.
They only have 1 loss right now.
I'm sorry. Yes.
But here's the thing.
They have to win out if they lose this game.
But if they lose to Vanderbilt, I don't think they're winning out.
I understand that, but I'm just saying the optics are they have to do it.
That's fair, Drew. Yeah. Sorry. Yes. That is yes. If you lose this game, does anybody think they're winning out?
No. Probably not. No. I would say no, but that's what they have to do to make it, I guess, is the... Do I think so? Probably
not. That's why the Alabama game was so massive. Because
exactly.
You beat Alabama, then you're saying, okay, you've really got some you've got wiggle room. Yes. So I'm excited for the game. I'm excited for it tomorrow afternoon. All right, earlier in the day, 11 a.m. kickoff in Lawrence, Sunflower Showdown. This one is just all about erasing history, and dominance in this game for me. That's what it's about. We're not talking college football playoff with these teams. We're talking a rivalry game. Neither team has probably had the season specifically they would like to have. Certainly K-State. KU, I also think, had bigger aspirations than where they're at. The Jayhawks are 3.5-point favorites, but Kansas has lost 16 straight. 16 straight to the Wildcats, all right?
Because of that, is it weird that I think this is a bigger game for Kleiman than it is for Leipold? In the sense that if all your predecessors just beat up on Kansas forever, losing to Kansas would be a very bad signal for Kleiman's job security at Kansas State. And they're like, you can't even beat Kansas in a down year? We've beaten them 16 straight years. They haven't gotten us in forever, Chris. Like, it feels like such a massive game for Chris Kleiman in that regard because they haven't lost to Kansas in so long.
Yeah, so I think it's the opposite. On the other hand, if you're Lance Leipold, you haven't beat K-State in your history. Your program hasn't. Your program hasn't beat them in 16 years. K-State is down compared to where they have been. It has to happen this year. If not, it goes to 17 years. You say, is Lance Leipold going to continue to lose to them as well? The good news for them is Jalen Daniels, we got Jade Daniels on the mind with the Commanders, who's not playing. Jalen Daniels, 1,700 yards passing, 18 touchdowns, and only 2 interceptions. He's not making the mistakes that he has made in prior games. So this is going to be a pretty good atmosphere, to say the least. There'll be plenty of K-State fans that buy some tickets as well. Obviously, the stadium has been redone. I think Kansas wins this in a shootout. It has to be that. I don't think their defense is going to slow down Avery Johnson all that much. I also don't think Kansas State is going to slow down this KU offense. So if you like points, this is going to be the game for you tomorrow.
So we both like the over.
56.5.
This has a 38-35 vibe written all over it.
Take the over.
Which would cover by quite a margin.
The major question is for Kansas, can they finally stop the run? They haven't been able to do it all season unless they played Fresno State or Wagner. Can they stop the run? For K-State, I feels like I know both teams are coming off the bye week. KU's got to show it to me. I think it kind of similar to how Bo Pribula's got to prove it to us and show me that he's capable of being that guy. I think he is. I think KU can fix the run defense problems, but they haven't been able to do this point. I think Avery Johnson, Joe Jackson, even though Dylan Edwards is not playing, you got to be licking your chops a little bit at the way that KU's run defense has been. I think I agree with you more, Cody, just on the side of the Chris Kleiman thing, because not only is it a bad season for them, what they've considered to be a bad year, if they lose to Kansas for the first time since 2009 or however long it's
16 straight.
Yep.
Then I think next people are going to start to get even more perturbed with the way that things have gone. I think there's more pressure just from a head coaching perspective on Kleiman than in Leipold in this one, mainly for that reason, based on how K-State's season has kind of gone to this point.
They will forgive a lot more in a down season. If it's a down season and you lose to Kansas for the first time in 16 years, they're going to be out for his head.
Yeah, it's funny how you guys view it. I understand the point of view. I just think it's the opposite. Again, when one school has lost 16 straight years and the school that has beat you for 16 straight is not as good as they have been, you have to take advantage. And you're at home? Come on.
Are we sure, though, that K-State's not as good as KU is right
for
now?
those saying that it's going to rain, look at the under, my guy. Yeah, as we talk about this in betting all the time, it's not the rain, it's the wind. The rain doesn't matter for the unders. It's the wind. If it's 30-mile-per-hour wind, then you like unders. The rain is not going to impact the game as far as the passing the football. Now, could there be fumbles? Sure, but that actually can lead to scoring as well.
Well, and again,
so I disagree.
You run the ball more in the rain, and what is KU's defense bad at?
Yeah,
they can't. The least amount of rush yards they've given up in a game this year to a Power 5 opponent is 181 yards.
Yeah.
They're like dead last in the Power 4.
This happens in NFL games too. People will see that it's going to rain, and they just automatically assume it's going to be a low-scoring game. It's the wind that gets you on the betting side of things for totals.
Traditionally, yes.
Yeah,
people
of course,
see
there's
rain
outliers
or snow, right, where
Sure.
it might actually impact some of the speed and stuff of the field. We've seen high-scoring games in the snow just the same. All right, good look at the college football teams this week, and I'm sure we'll talk about some of them on Monday, knowing that we won't have a Chiefs game to react to since they play for Monday Night Football. I'd ask you guys a question off the air, and then we'll talk maybe the World Series coming up tonight. Obviously, Blue Jays and Dodgers, two plucky underdogs, dueling it out for a chance to do it. Plus, our guy Vinny was on the
He's
on
a
the
correspondent.
beat, an official MLB correspondent working the gig. We'll talk to him next week about what that experience has been like, certainly. But I'd ask you a question off the air, and I think it's a good one because we all on this show spend a lot of time talking about, when we talk about the defense, we obviously mention one thing all the time, which is Spags. That Spags Look at the blitzes, look at the design, look at the coverage, look at the adjustments. This is a team that just knows where it's supposed to go and all those things. So I was asking myself based on like how long I think the defense and how good I think the defense will be this year. What is the thing you like best about the defense without saying Steve Spagnuolo? So don't say, because I actually think if I asked this question, I left it open to interpretation. You'd say Spags, I might say Spags. I think 60% of the text line might say Spags. Once you reminded them that might be the answer. Because we admit problems with the defensive line, so I don't think that's our answer for it. What do you like best about the defense? What do you think they do best that isn't Steve Spagnuolo?
Yeah, actually, this might shock you. I like their cornerback room. I feel pretty good about it. I know Jalen Watson gets picked on at times from the fan base. I'm not even talking about from the fan base at times in his time here. When he's been healthy, Jalen Watson has been a very, very good number 2 corner. We know what you're getting in your number 1 corner. Trent McDuffie's one of the best in the league. So I have a top 3 corner in football and Trent McDuffie. Jalen Watson as a number 2 corner is very good for that spot. We all know they work in nickel at times, no Williams. Christian Fulton hasn't played, but in terms of depth in the room, I still like having him now that he's healthy. A guy that they clearly liked in the offseason. I mean, they gave him a nice contract. This isn't just some random guy they signed. They signed a guy with experience who they thought was going to maybe be their guy that was going to allow Trent McDuffie to play in the slot. So what do I like? I like the cornerback room. I think they actually have a pretty deep cornerback room, although maybe they trade one of them in the next week and a half. And they're getting really good play from their number 2 corner, Jalen Watson.
I don't think that's a bad answer. I think it's perfect. Like the secondary obviously holds its own. It's weird because like when you look at it, it's a bunch of non-long-term guys, right? Christian Fulton's on a short deal. They haven't given an extension to Jalen Watson. I imagine actually he'll make pretty good money being somewhere else. Trent McDuffie, I believe, will eventually get an extension and is a high drafted player, but it's the same grouping of guys they've had for years. Watson and Williams and Fulton. So the familiarity is really there. More than anything, I think, other than just saying like, I like Chris Jones as a player who is still having a less than regular Chris Jones year. I actually think the answer for me is the versatility in the linebacker room. I'm not here to tell you that any of these guys are the best linebackers in the NFL because I actually don't think that that's true, and I think I'd be disingenuous by saying that. Their ability to mix and match and be versatile in the linebacker room is a huge key for what I think works on their defense. Where they're like, we'll use Chenal as a down defensive lineman, out into coverage. Nick Bolton is our tackling machine. Like, they are just multifaceted at linebacker and seem to be, to me, to have maybe the best mix of linebackers and skill sets that they've ever had. They don't have one do everything guy. They all have flaws and problems in their game, but they, as a unit, are about as versatile as I've seen in a grouping for them for the last couple of years. I think it's what I like best about what allows Spags, I guess in this case, an ability to kind of mix and match and move people around, and that kind of change of pace really works.
They got a really good linebacker room. Yeah, really, really good. All different roles, as you were laying out there, different roles and strengths and obviously weaknesses that can still get exposed at times. But they got a really good group, and obviously a group that I know we can't use Spags as the answer for this conversation, but a group that he very much so trusts, and we all know his feeling about
because they're versatile.
Nick Bolton and how he makes sure everybody's in the right spot. So, yeah, you notice neither one of us so far have said, defensive line, which still, while there's issues there, still has a Chris Jones, still has a George Karlaftis, but it's because of right after that, there's a big drop-off.
And the problem is they got a massive issue. Look, if I just said, how do I feel about their sack guys, I don't hate that George Karlaftis, and you could have a worse 1-2 sack punch in Chris Jones and George Karlaftis. You can do a lot worse than that in the NFL. If Charles Omenihu can just continue to raise his level of play, my level of concern for the defensive line goes way down. But I'm never going to, a very rare chance that I'm going to come in here and say, that's the thing I like best about what they do defensively. Seriously. And look, the safeties, what's funny about them is I just don't notice them. Is that good or bad? Did I get beat over the top a lot?
Well, that's usually good. If
We're
you're safe,
I don't even remember them.
You were noticing Brian Cook a little bit more. You were noticing him, yeah.
You don't want your safeties leading your team in tackles necessarily and things like that. So
I would say
maybe I deserve more credit for them.
I wouldn't even look at one position group. I think the best thing about this defense is they've got guys you can rely on. I think that Trent McDuffie obviously is the anchor of that, but at all 3 levels, like you can rely on Chris Jones to be. As long as he's like
one play against the Chargers.
I was gonna say I need to tread carefully, but Chris Jones you can rely on. Drew Tranquil you can rely on. Trent McDuffie, you can rely. It feels like they've got guys that you can rely on to do the job every single time. Particularly Trent McDuffie, of course, being the anchor of that is.
Yeah.
He is not doesn't get the recognition because he doesn't get thrown the ball, but he is so elite at what he does, where he's always in the hip pocket. You love to have a guy like that. God dang!
Yeah, man. Yeah.
The text line mentioning they love their physicality, I think that's actually a really good answer. They talk about how they swarm the ball. This is a team that, like, works as a unit. Like, defensively, they are a physical defense. And I will not say that about every defense of the last decade for the Chiefs. They were the bend, don't break, finesse. Oh, look at us. We're athletic. They're not. I don't think they're the most. Do you guys think that this is the most athletic defense in the AFC? I don't.
No.
But I do think that they are a physical.
I couldn't tell you, I guess.
I mean, you know a defense that just has.
I mean, the Ravens are athletic, but look how they've turned out.
No, I understand that. And sometimes it doesn't work out that way. The Chiefs in their end, I do think that they got some maulers. Like Chenal and somebody said psychos, right? I like the psychotic nature of the linebacker crew. I will say they are a physical defense. They very rarely in a game look like they're just getting tooled up by somebody or out muscled by somebody. That's not where their weakness is. They might get out athletic by somebody. That might happen occasionally, but like I very rarely
they rarely miss tackles.
Yeah, they wrap up, they gang tackle. There's multiple people on there. I do think they're a physical defense. I think that's a good answer from the text line. 913-586-7965. Always interested in that. Someone's like, they've got a linebacker in waiting in Bassa too. He was getting a few snaps early. I haven't seen him.
Hard to say. Yeah, it's just hard to say at this point because we haven't seen him a whole lot. But yeah, they might have something there. They might. Hey, coming up in 10 minutes, we'll ask Josh Briscoe that same question. We'll also discuss the Commanders a little bit, where things are trending for them heading into Monday Night Football out at Arrowhead. Tonight, though, it is Game 1 of the World Series. Game 1 in Toronto. Dodgers, Blue Jays. Dodgers are heavy favorites throughout the entire series, trying to go back-to-back. Freddie Freeman is trying to join an elite group, a very rare group of players to have multiple MVP awards. Like, that's where you're talking about who's going to win MVP and all that. Freddie Freeman last year, we were in Vegas when it happened. We were at Circa when he hit the walk-off grand slam to win Game 1. It was an unbelievable moment.
He won
He won it because of that.
Yeah.
But he would be the fourth player, I think, in baseball history to win multiple World Series MVPs. He joined guys like Reggie Jackson and Sandy Koufax. I mean,
they have nicknames for how they perform in this time of year.
I don't know if Freddie Freeman will get that or not. I want to pick him, but that also scared me away when I'm like, is he really going to be in that company? Is he really? Plus, with Shohei, I feel like everybody's waiting to give it to him, given what he is to the league
close,
and everything.
it'll go to Shohei.
Do you think that Blue Jays have much of a shot to win this entire series? I think they lose tonight and they can win Game 2. Tonight they're going up against Blake Snell, and the Blue Jays have a rookie pitcher.
The one thing I'll say that'll keep the Blue Jays in it is maybe they're one of the few teams I would say that has enough offensive weapons that they might actually be able to get to a pitching staff that has pitched. And we cannot undersell it enough. The Dodgers pitching staff for the second half of the season in this postseason has been on an all-time dominant run as a staff. And I pointed out these stats, I think, in the AL or the NLCS. They have, for the last 81 games, pitched like the entire staff is Paul Skeens. So just to put it in perspective, they have essentially, as a unit, been Paul Skeens together collectively for the last 81 games. Not a small sample size by any means.
1 through 4 is awfully impressive.
So, and that includes the bullpen and everything else in between. So to think if there's an offense that could get to him, yes. But do I give him like a 30% chance? The Dodgers are the better team. Baseball's weird. Things happen. They can certainly win 4 games in a 7 try. But I would say I would get on them early. For the Dodgers or for the Blue Jays to win this series, they're going to need to be up 2-1 in this series. Get the game tonight. Like, I think they're going to need to be playing from ahead, not playing from behind.
It's hard to imagine winning the series without stealing one tonight. I know they're the home team, but when you're going up against Blake Snell, if you were able to get a few runs on him early, then that changes maybe how you think the series go. I think the Dodgers win tonight, and then maybe they lose in Game 2. You need George Springer to continue to be what he has in October, which is a different
postseason player.
Different player. I mean, he's been a great player anyway, but in the month of October, he's really, really special. We know what Vladdy is capable of doing as well. But I'm excited for it. I'll admit, like, it doesn't. I don't know if it's just because we're all in football mode. We've got some big local college football games tomorrow. The Chiefs obviously are getting things going. I'll watch. I'm not going to act like I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to get to 7 o'clock or whatever it is to watch this game.
I love the World Series and I love watching baseball, but because of the imbalance in the sport. So like, I'm sure we'll do something in a week, like a week from today almost, not quite, but I think the day after, will be the 10-year anniversary of the Royals winning the World Series. So it had been a decade. I can't believe it's been a decade, but it'll have been a decade since the Royals won the World Series. In that time in between there, you have to be a top 10 spender in baseball in order to do it. So part of me is the excitement over watching the Dodgers again lowers it a little. Like, and I'm sure that that's how some people talk about the Super Bowl or whatever other things when they're sick of looking at the Chiefs playing them, There is a part of, like, if you're not a fan of the team in it constantly doing it, and it's not like I'm like, ooh, go Blue Jays. If they'd gotten me a team like the Mariners or the Brewers or a team that, like, there's a rooting interest party for me, I'd be more excited about it. I'll obviously watch it. But my excitement level for this matchup is not the same as it would be before. So now I have to count on, like, the games being good.
Go Blue Jays.
Other than I want to watch Shohei Ohtani do absolutely ludicrous things.
I think he'll pitch in, game 4?
Yeah.
All right.
Blue Jays are winning in 6.
Blue Jays in 6?
Yep. They're winning at home.
Okay. I'll go Dodgers in 5.
Dodgers in
I love
6.
Blake Snow, though, and Mookie Betts. And there's so many players. It's the thing.
You got like 17 MVPs on that team.
There are so many players on the Dodgers that you love, but it's the Dodgers, and they're all collectively on one group. You just hate the Dodgers.
How many collective MVPs and Cy Youngs does the Dodgers current roster have? It's unfair, because of course we are including current Clayton Kershaw, who's on the active.
Yeah, what is it? Is it 4 MVPs?
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, can I count the one? Can I count the one Shohei? Can I count the one Shohei's? Can I count the one MVP Shohei's about to win again because he's going to win?
I believe.
Between Cy Youngs and MVPs, it's got to be double.
I think it's
close.
I think it might be 5 MVPs, maybe 6, and then Cy Young's. I'm not sure how many Kershaw ended up with in his career. 3. Kershaw wins Cy Young 3 times.
And Shohei had one. Didn't Shohei get a Cy Young?
I don't have it. I don't know off the top of my head.
I'm just like, the more I think about it, the more
it's a lot, Cody. It's a lot. Yes.
It doesn't. Oh, here we go.
What's the answer?
Dodgers award winners. Let's see. Shohei has an MVP. Cody Bellinger won an MVP. Nope. That's
he's not on the team anymore.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm just looking. Yeah. Kershaw. No, I'm just looking. Is that it?
I'll let you dig into that a little bit more and give us our answer on that. But up next, let's talk about the Chiefs welcoming in the Commanders. Joshua Briscoe will be hosting pre- and post-game, of course, Monday night against the Commanders. We'll ask him about Washington and what he's seen this year and if he was encouraged by Andy Reid's comments yesterday.
This is Wyatt Thompson, and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays 10 to 2, right here on your home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
It's NBA tip-off week, and FanDuel is your home for live betting. So even if you miss the start of the game or you want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. However you want to play, now is the perfect time to join because FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/Alex to sign up today. That's FanDuel.com/Alex. Play your game with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bet will expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Hey folks, I've got a couple of important questions for you. Do you know how much money you need to retire? Do you have a plan in place for your loved ones? If your answer is no, it's time to get your financial planning on track with UMB Private Wealth. It's never too late to start. Plus, their team supports you at every step of the planning process. Go to umb.com/private wealth to schedule your appointment. That's umb.com/private wealth. Why not start today?
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's a Red Friday on 96.5 The Fan and the other place, especially with these amazing game day specials. 14-inch 2-topping pizzas for just $12 and $4 domestic OP cups. The other place with 5 great Kansas City Metro locations.
Need to sell your house in Kansas City but not sure what the best option is? Selling a home, especially when dealing with foreclosure, divorce, job relocation, or an inherited property, can feel overwhelming. That's why I don't just make offers. I help homeowners understand all their options so they can make the right choice with no pressure and no obligation. I'm Rex, a local homebuyer and resident right here in Kansas City. Whether you're looking for a fast cash sale or just want to explore your choices, I'll walk you through the pros and cons of selling to me or listing with an agent. If selling directly is your best move, I'll offer you a fair cash price and a closing timeline that fits your needs in as little as 7 days or on your schedule. No repairs, no commissions, no hidden fees. Just a transparent, hassle-free process so you know exactly what to expect. Let's talk. Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com for a free, no-pressure consultation. Rex Buys KC, helping homeowners make informed decisions with confidence.
Tomorrow, you'll hear Kansas State football in place of the John Clay Wolf Show. But don't forget, you can still catch the show live on the John Clay Wolf YouTube channel. Sponsored by Give Me the VIN, America's best car buyer.
Morning, Zoe. Got donuts.
Jeff Bridges, why are you still living above our garage?
Well, I dig the mattress, and I want to be in a T-Mobile commercial like you. Teach me, Saldana.
Oh, no, I'm not really prepared. I couldn't possibly. At T-Mobile, get the new iPhone 17 Pro. On them, it's designed to be the most powerful iPhone yet and has the ultimate pro camera system.
Wow, impressive. Let me try. T-Mobile is the best place to get iPhone 17 Pro because they've got the best network.
Nice, Jeffrey.
You heard them. T-Mobile is the best place to get the new iPhone 17 Pro on us with eligible trade-in in any condition.
So, what are we having for lunch?
Dude, my work here is done.
24 monthly bill credits on experience beyond for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits ended. Balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Finance agreement iPhone 17 Pro 256 gigs, $1,099.99 and new line minimum $100 plus a month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data 1H2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Well, this morning I put out a new video on my social media about the 2025 Ford Expedition that I've been driving over at Shawnee Mission Ford. Today it was all about the new steering wheel. The complete redesign of the vehicle includes a brand new steering wheel, gives you kind of a sporty look, and it's got a touchpad. It's basically like using a mouse on your steering wheel. And if you watch the video, it explains a little bit better, but in front of you, you've got that 24-inch panoramic display that's got everything, your alerts, your navigation. It's obviously got your speedometer. It's all there, but that's how the touchpad works as well. You use the steering wheel touchpad, and instead of having to push buttons or look down at the steering wheel, it's all right in front of you, and you can select your adaptive cruise control, like the Blue Cruise feature that I've told you guys about that I love using, which enables you to use hands-free driving when you're on the highway, and it covers, over 90% of highways and interstates in the United States as well. It's just one of the many features that I love about the 2025 Ford Expedition. And Shawnee Mission Ford, I've been telling you about Ready, Set, Ford. That's what they're all about over there, bringing meaning to Ready, Set, Ford. They offer their customers the largest discounts on every new vehicle. They're going to have the aggressive rebates, the top trade-in value, and if you're looking for a pre-owned vehicle, you're in luck with over 100 pre-owned vehicles to choose from at prices and terms that are going to work with any budget as well. Shawnee Mission Ford is on a mission to do more.
Paid for by term provider. Premiums will vary. Plans depend on age, location, and other factors. Visit bigloot.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-555-1509. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-555-1509. That's 800-555-1509. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-555-1509. 800-555-1509.
This is your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey Sports Station.
11 o'clock hour here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. We'll get to the trash of the day here in about 20 minutes or so. But let's welcome in Josh Briscoe, who will be hosting 3 hours before kickoff on Monday night. Of course, part of the Chiefs Radio Network. Chiefs Commanders. Before we get into that, yesterday Cody was gone. Josh, I don't know if you were skeptical, interested as I was about Cody's disappearance yesterday, knowing the FBI was knocking on doors for illegal poker games. And I've been invited to these poker games at Cody's house. You've played in them. Did you ever think, it's almost like Cody knows what cards are coming?
Boy, Gold, am I glad you mentioned that. I was sure hoping we might get a little bit of time to chat about this topic, because, I also found it a bit conspicuous that Cody was gone yesterday. I have played in a couple poker games with dear Mr. Tapp, and I will say, I've talked to my lawyers, and here's what I'm willing to say. The games in which I won money were totally clean and totally above board. The games in which I lost money, Cody was cheating and robbing me blind. That's my
man, come on. It's just a friendly poker game. You think I can afford x-ray machines?
I think friendly's the right word for you. Yeah, I think you host that thing at home. You get a couple cameras in a couple places. I always thought it was weird that you had mirrors on every wall in your basement, but now it's all starting to come together.
Yeah, I just bounce it off of there and be like, well, I know exactly what Briscoe's got today. Time to go hit the gut shot.
Cody had his kids in on it too, I think. He had an earpiece.
Oh, that's right.
My kids do come downstairs as a distraction.
I think Desmond was looking at a screen in another room to tell Cody through his ear, like, hey, Briscoe, he's got 3-7 here. You're good. Go for it.
I never had any doubts about asking Cody's 2 wonderful young children to bring me a beer or whatever, but they would come around, they'd hand it to me, and then they'd look right at my cards and go straight to their dad. I never put it together.
It's all hand signals, What's that? This is like a fun insidery thing. How about this, Gold? To sit at the table and play in my poker game, there's a barrier for entry that Desmond has decided, my son, has decided is the barrier for entry for sitting at the table. What is it, Briscoe?
I don't know. I don't remember $50?
No. Getting shot by the dart gun.
Oh,
so you have weapons at your poker games too. Wow, it is high stakes.
He gets every single person with the Nerf gun before they sit at the table.
I had forgotten. I think I did get hit with the Nerf gun last time. I forgot about that. I said $50. I couldn't remember where we ended up again, except for the time that I lost money. In which case, I think I have thousands of dollars coming my way once the FBI gets involved.
Someone claims in the text line I was singing like a canary yesterday.
Oh, totally, totally. Yeah, that's what we said, Briscoe.
Snitch.
We definitely said earlier, Cody would have a hard time just staying silent, and waiting for his lawyer to show up. He would be like, let me tell you the whole story right now.
I've known Cody for quite a while. One of his biggest problems is the ability to stay silent. That's true.
Yeah. It's an active flaw, and I don't have any other way to... I'd like to clap back, but I have no particular argument against it.
We all ended up in radio, honestly.
Yeah. For good reasons, I'll ask you a question, at least about the Chargers last night in the division. Do we already feel like this is coming down to week 17, 18, and we should just kind of accept that? Because we're not accustomed to that for the division, and we've seen it be close on October 24th, only to have it in 3 games separate from them and everyone else. But do we need to settle in for it's going to be close?
Probably. I guess the Chiefs have a chance to kind of build a little bit of that cushion if these big games, and I don't want to look over Washington, but if they do beat the Bills, Broncos, Colts, if the Chiefs win their next 5, which is basically Monday through Thanksgiving, then we might be able to have a little bit of a different look of what December and early January might look like. But as things stand right now, we haven't seen this for sure with the Rashee Rice Chiefs, I guess, but the pre-Rashee Rice Chiefs are also one of those teams that can lose to the Jaguars, who are a wild-looking football team who can get blown out by the Rams in London. So I think the transitive property of the NFL right now means that most of these races are going to come down to the wire, yeah.
I think when you look at and I don't know what it is about it. There's still flaws with those teams more than I think with the Chiefs. Yep. Something about and it might just be because it's the way they're playing right now, and they've won 3 or 4 games. And yeah, that Jags game, they did still give away, but with Rashee Rice, I'm convinced would not. When do you think their next loss is? That was actually a conversation we had a couple of days ago on the show. I said it's starting to feel like Colts, or I think actually Cowboys for me, where I think they're the better team than the Bills. And I don't think they're making a trade to improve themselves before they take on Kansas City.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because I think some of the specific stuff I've been impressed by the Chiefs' ability to do this year that aren't necessarily their calling card things, like limiting the run game. They handled, I'll save you mentioning all of the running backs, but there's literally been a guy every single week where you go, man, that's a running back that's caused some trouble for some other teams. Or like in Cam Scadaboo's case, a guy who would go on to cause trouble after week 3. But the Chiefs have done a great job of corralling those guys. So if you told me that the Bills can't run the ball in a week or so, then yeah, I think the Chiefs should probably win that game. Now, Josh Allen with his legs might give you enough of those Justin Herbert or I guess Trevor Lawrence or, Jalen Hurts moments in those games that they lost. I think the Bills game remains a coin flip for me. I think the Colts are just insane. The Colts is you talk about a coin flip. That's a coin flip any season throughout Chiefs and Colts history. That game has a chance to be extremely weird and bad for the Chiefs. Like, I just have some AFC South trauma, some unexplainable Indianapolis Colts Daniel Jones fear. I'm not going to overlook that game, but I do think they're going to beat the Cowboys on Thanksgiving. We're looking a month ahead now. But if the Cowboys defense doesn't improve, if they don't add a real piece there, I think they're a legitimately excellent offense, but I think the Chiefs defense matches up okay there, and I'm betting on the Chiefs to win some shootouts, which is a wonderful feeling to have again. So I do think Buffalo's certainly the biggest hurdle after they hopefully get through Washington without too much festivity on Monday.
So you think if they get through Buffalo, though, you would think that they got a decent chance to win out, it sounds like.
Oh, I guess here's this. I know this is like a crummy radio answer. I think they should be favored in every game the rest of the year.
Yeah,
if
they will.
Won out, I'd be shocked. Like, I just don't really think that that's how anybody's built at this point, where every one of these games has a weird version, a weird counter argument of here's how it happens. If the Broncos just finally hit their ceiling of what we think they can be defensively, and they win that game 20-17 because Travis Kelce tips a pass and Isaiah Pacheco fumbles and there's a weird penalty at a bad time, yeah, I can never be too surprised by the result of any given week, because that's been, the NFL through our lifetimes for the most part, but especially this season has just been so much of that.
We're talking to Josh Briscoe, our Chiefs contributor here on 96.5, The Fan, of course, pre- and post-game host on the Chiefs radio network. I want to play this 15-second cut for our audience. I know you heard it yesterday, but Andy Reid seemed to be more optimistic about the Josh Simmons situation.
Update for you with Josh would just be, there's communication. I'm not going to get into all of it. Everything's positive. It's not a negative situation. So he's taking care of family.
That's more than we had heard, really, Josh, in prior opportunities for Andy to address the situation. How did you take that yesterday?
Positively. I thought it was good that there was something like that. I think something I had said, probably just privately, and I'm saying I'll say it now, I suppose, but something I had said to a couple people was I do think everybody would benefit with the ability to have one clippable, quotable kind of diplomatic thing like that, and that's what you just played to me, is that is pretty top level, but it's kind of a, hey, everybody, here's a little bit of information just so you know that we're on the same page with the player, family situation. I don't know what not a negative situation means, but it does make it feel like, okay, at least now there's the waves have settled a little bit. There's still going to probably be some here or there. It still doesn't sound like they have a real timeline for when he's going to be back. And also, just to be clear, like I don't know if maybe the Chiefs just found out yesterday, like, hey, okay, you can go ahead and say X, Y, Z, and maybe that's something that Simmons didn't want them to say anything until that point. Or maybe, I don't have a clue how that back-channeling communication went between player and agent and team and all of those ingredients there. But I was heartened and happy to hear that yesterday, because I think it takes a little bit of the unknown extra kind of spiky points out of it, where when there is so little information, when it's a total kind of bubble shut down around any issue, people start to try to fill in those gaps and then often assume the worst of what might fill in those gaps. So I was glad to hear that yesterday. I certainly hope that's a reflection of some progress on whatever it is that's going on there. And it seems like, again, I know we're really used to injury reports and we want to know why people are not available. Like, I think that's very human and very understandable. But I also think that, especially now with that from Andy yesterday, at least I'm in a place where it's even easier to just kind of say, okay, the status quo is this now. Jalen Moore's playing good football, and I'm hoping that we see Josh Simmons again before too terribly long, but if it's a situation big enough to impact the middle of your rookie NFL season as the starting left tackle on perhaps the best team in football, I assume it is important, and I hope it is getting handled.
When you look at let's just say, we again don't know. We don't know how long he's going to be out or all the other stuff. Let's say that they just settle into Jalen Moore's doing a nice job, and we're going to leave him the starter even when Simmons comes back to allow him to reacclimate. Mm-hmm. Performance-wise, where are you with Jalen Moore? Let's say Jalen Moore had to be your starter the rest of the year. Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, comfortable. Yeah, no, I really would be. I think his ceiling is a bit lower, both immediately and obviously long-term. Obviously, Simmons, you see the 10-year future for, and I think Jalen Moore is most likely a starting tackle on this team next year already. So I think the Chiefs were comfortable with him being their left tackle when they signed him in March. I think they're comfortable with him being their most likely right tackle next year. So I would be comfortable with that. He's less of a weapon in the running game. Simmons has some of those just elite, pop off the screen physical tools. And also, I think he's done a very good job of not losing like a rookie when he does have one of those slow deaths that you want an offensive lineman to die when they're able to lose, but lose slowly. So I do think that in the, this is the kindest way I've ever meant this. It is a downgrade, I suppose. The Chiefs would tell you that because Josh Simmons won that job immediately. But I am comfortable, to use that word, absolutely. That Jalen Moore is the second best left tackle the Chiefs have had in quite some time. He just happens to be behind Josh Simmons on the depth chart, who has been the best left tackle the Chiefs have had in quite some time.
We're talking to Josh Briscoe here on 96.5 The Fan. We were discussing a little bit earlier. We're less than 2 weeks out from the trade deadline, looking at potential targets. I don't think they're going to go after running back the way we all thought maybe 3 weeks ago they were going to address it. When you look at other areas, do you think they make a move for a rotational defensive lineman? Is there a name that stands out?
There are a couple of names that I think are interesting. I think they almost have to add a defensive tackle. I was in that headspace before the Omar Norman-Lott injury, and now with him out for the year, it was already a thin group, and now it's a really thin group. I mean, they literally have 3 defensive tackles on the active roster right now. Chris Jones cannot play every snap, even though they need him to. Derek Notty's role is very defined, and then Jerry Tillery, you're asking a lot if you need him to continue to build up that snap count. You can throw some snaps at him, but he's not a premier starting interior guy. He's a depth piece you're happy to have. So I do think something needs to happen there on the interior. I don't think it can just be long term the practice squad guys. So look, I'd call about Quinnen Williams. I don't think you're probably going to get a price you're thrilled with. Frankly, I'd call the Jets about a whole lot of guys. I do think Breece Hall is interesting, but I'm with you. I think defensive line is more pressing. The most obvious one right now is Colin Saunders. I don't know if the Jags want to move him, but I think he's played 1 game with Jacksonville this year. He was tweeting about burnt ends a couple days ago and tweeting about how he loves it when uninformed folks are making bold claims and predictions that are extremely false. Let's get him out of there. He signed with New Orleans and got his bag a little bit. He got traded to Jacksonville before this season. He's not playing there. He didn't play in the Chiefs game. So I think he makes a ton of sense as an immediate patch up for what they need, just depth wise. I really would, though. Again, this is a bit of a pipe dream, but if they had a legitimate offer on the table for a Quinnen Williams type, that's a guy, I mean, I don't know if there is a type. I think it's just literally Quinnen Williams. If he's on the table, yeah, I would start doing some creative salary cap math to figure out how you can have him as a part of this defensive line for years to come and build a truly dominant unit. I think that's a 5% chance right now, while I think you almost have to make a move for a guy like Colin Saunders. I really wish Mike Pennell was still on this team. They clearly need to add there, I think, specifically on the interior. But I'd call about Jalen Phillips or Jermaine Johnson. Also, my hunch is, again, that those are either guys who aren't going to move or going to move for probably a higher price than the Chiefs want to pay.
Briscoe, I know that they're a massive favorite for a reason, so that's certainly just part of it. And they're up against a backup quarterback. Anything that worries you about the matchup on Monday against Washington?
Yeah, the sport they play for the most part. I mean, that really is kind of it, where I have ended up glossing over this game a little bit. Obviously, it's Monday, so we have the extra day and everything to talk about it. This is not a Raiders situation where I'm kind of quietly just doubting every single thing about the fabric of the organization in the week leading up, like I was doing last week. But man, I don't know. Do the Raiders have anything here? Washington is a professional football team. Jaden Daniels being out is obviously, like, it takes a ton of the air out of it. But I do still think that this is one of those games that exists within the margin for error of the modern NFL. And if they had shuffled up some of their losses, if they hadn't just lost to the Bears and the Cowboys, I think we'd still believe in a little more of what they can offer. It sounds like Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel should both be back. Those are legitimate weapons. The Chiefs have legitimate answers to guys like that, though, in the secondary. So you could see, maybe you see one of those receivers end up matched up with Shamari Connor a lot, or maybe Jalen Watson dealing with a little bit of a back thing yesterday. Maybe there's some limitations there. I don't really fear the running game that much because, like I said earlier, I just think the Chiefs have been really, really impressive in the way that they've handled that so far, even as Krosky Merritt has been very good. Jaden Daniels also really improves that running game, and, of course, again, he won't be out there. So I do just kind of have the awareness of the fact that this is a
football game
being played in prime time 3 days before Halloween. Like, there could be some sort of spooky voodoo magic in there that cost the Chiefs this game. But if both teams play A games, B games, C games, the Chiefs should win it by 10 points.
Well, I don't know if you should come out to our Red Friday tailgate a week from today out at Community America because, again, it's a Halloween tailgate as well. Cody ran his costume idea by you a few weeks ago. I don't know if Cody got approval or not.
Nope, I actually got the opposite of that.
I've got one figured out. Yeah, shut down is what I was thinking was going to happen. So I don't know.
The opposite of approval. That's great, Cody. Love it.
Yeah. So I don't know. You're a pretty creative individual, so I expect a pretty legit costume from you.
Yeah, this is actually a really tough time for me and my household. Renee and I have not figured out what our Halloween costume is going to be for this year, and I know we are in crunch time.
Don't tell Bink.
The good news, does Bink have a suggestion? Or
he's very much anti-adults having fun.
I might wear a costume on Monday just to have him walk in to do our college football report segment, to do radio with a man in a Psyduck onesie. Like, that just might be something Bink has to do on Monday night.
There's no way he's going to know that that's a Pokemon.
No chance. And
he's just going to be like, why are you a duck?
Yep. And that, I feel like that question would give me enough dopamine to get me through the rest of the day.
There you go. All right, Josh. Appreciate it, man. There you go. Josh Briscoe. You can hear him 3 hours before kickoff on Monday, hosting pregame for the Chiefs Radio Network, and, of course, postgame right here on 96.5 The Fan as well. All right, let's get to it.
Trash of the day.
All right, so we go to the Florida Keys. Have you ever been to Key West or the Keys? It's beautiful. Beautiful.
I don't believe so.
Yeah,
I feel like I remember that. I've been to Florida a couple times.
Some of the clearest water I've ever seen in my life. Is awesome. Anyway, that's where we go. This is about a crocodile that was swimming in the Florida Keys, but you got to listen to this story from WFOR, which is an affiliate for CBS, I think it is, down in the Florida Keys.
It took 2 people to carry the female crocodile into the room where Dr. Gwen Myers was able to remove the spear.
We think that spear's probably been in her head about maybe a week. It's hard to say, but somewhere between 6-7 days, could be a little bit longer.
They believe she was shot with a spear gun at close range.
If both of them had been out and trapped in the tissues like that, then we would have been regrouping and figuring out a surgery for her.
Saturday morning, FWC received calls out of Key Largo that a crocodile was swimming around with a spear lodged in its head. That's when officers tried to safely capture the reptile.
They were not able to do so Saturday, but yesterday, Monday, is when they were actually able to capture it, along with the help of Zoo Miami and our nuisance alligator program trapper.
Once the reptile arrived to Zoo Miami, they conducted a number of tests and x-rays to see how far the spear was lodged inside of its head. Dr. Myers and her team removed the spear by hand, avoiding surgery. But it's what they also found in x-rays that was alarming.
She has a bullet in her head as well. She has a small pellet in her skull. I don't know how long that's been in there, and it does not seem to be impacting vital organs, so we are leaving that alone right now.
Myers says the goal is to nurse the crocodile back to health and release her back in her home of Key Largo.
She's not out of the woods. We kind of need to give her a little bit of time to see how this wound is going to behave.
So, the John Wick of crocodiles?
Bullet.
This thing had a spear lodged in its head and it was swimming around. That's why people noticed it. The giant spear was sticking out its head.
The photo.
And then when they took that out, they're like, it also had been shot in the head?
What was...
And was living... What kind of enemies does this crocodile have?
Somebody wanted this croc dead. I don't know. Spear gun. Yes, text line. They did say somewhere between 6 or 7 days. Yes, thank you all for picking up on that.
Oh, boy. We're going to do that every time on this show,
Well,
too?
the text line is full of 6, 7 now because they said 6 or 7 days.
We're not doing that on the show.
We are not, but thank you, text line.
My kids do it enough at home, man. I don't need that rolled into my life. We can't do practice math questions in my house with a 6 or a 7.
Right.
Without it becoming a distraction. I got to have everything in 1, 2,
Don't you
3,
think
4,
that
5,
clearly
9, or 10.
Clearly,
right?
what happened is this croc down at Key Largo in the Florida Keys was attacking somebody, and somebody defended
I
themselves.
think someone got bored and decided to try to shoot the crocodile with a spear gun. Failed. It swam away. And then the other time, I don't know about the bullets.
Two different
Florida.
people, right? You don't think it's the same person.
No, I don't. I mean, again, unless
the
it's
spear gun.
unless it's the John Wick crocodile situation, I don't think it's one person actively. Like, I don't try to avenge their father's death by crocodile.
To Drew's point, the bullet sounds like was in there for much, much longer.
Yeah, they didn't know when it was in there. So for all we know, they tried the bullet and that didn't work.
Yeah.
I think it's the same person.
I think they're going to put that one in captivity. Retire that damn thing. Let him become one of those crocodiles just at like a zoo.
I really do. I don't know.
Spear gun, bullet. He's not safe out there.
I think a certain group would appreciate what I'm about to say. People are living in its habitat, so let it do its thing.
Well, sometimes they're like, well, it could eat a child. I'm like, oh, yeah, crocodile's going to crocodile? Don't get near a crocodile. That,
Thank you.
Like,
Thank you.
Like,
No, but
sorry.
it's space.
No, but
In Key Largo?
you've lived in Florida, Drew, and you're the only one on the show. I mean,
Correct.
if there are stories, as you know, that a crocodile will go into a neighborhood in someone's backyard, and it's like,
yes.
I mean, that's
What's the rules on it? If a crocodile, do I get like stand your ground on a crocodile?
Oh, gosh,
if it gets in my backyard, am I allowed to shoot it?
They are a federally threatened species. It's illegal to kill or harass
Yes,
under
okay.
both
I didn't
Florida
know. I was
and
asking.
Florida and federal
Correct.
law.
Correct.
Okay.
You cannot kill it.
That's why they're offering a reward for any information that leads to an arrest about whoever was responsible for injuring the croc.
Whoever was hurting it. I think it's multiple people, but also indestructible, that crocodile, man. He's a force to be reckoned with. He got shot with a spear gun in the head.
So that's the croc that got chubs.
Yeah, so he got my hand, I got his head, or whatever the line is, I think, from that movie.
Someone
Text
said
line
it's disconnected to yesterday's news.
What was yesterday's news?
They're saying the FBI stuff with organized crime.
Oh. Crocodile was going to snitch and try to take him out? What's a crocodile got to do with it?
Yeah. Well, the person got away, so if they were being attacked, it worked. But yeah, you can't do that. Someone says, makes so much sense now, knowing Drew is originally a Florida man.
I'm telling you, there was a guy that when I was in Pensacola would ride his lawnmower to the gas station, fill it up with gas, and then ride away with like a little wagon attached to it in the back. He'd put some stuff in there from the.
What's the most Florida man thing you did while living in Florida? There's got to be something.
I can't think of anything that comes to mind, I guess.
Okay.
It would take too long to think about it.
All right.
I saw other Florida man stuff, yes, but
that's what we need. Yeah.
What's the best example, real quick?
Well, the one I just told you.
That's
the guy
Okay.
riding his lawnmower
That's
to
the
the
one.
gas station on the legit road in the lane where cars are. It wasn't like in the bike lane. It was just in the middle of the street.
Someone says, wait, if gators are in danger, then how do we get gator bites as an appetizer while we're in Florida? I have no idea the difference either. I have no idea. Gator, croc, I don't know if there's a discrepancy between the two. Anyway, up next, we'll get to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. A question that Cody thinks the Chiefs still have to ask themselves. And we'll also get back into some of those targets we asked Josh Briscoe about for the trade deadline. That's right now here on Cody and Gold.
You're listening to Cody and Gold. Tune in for the Chiefs Red Half Hour every day, starting at 11:30 right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
As the seasons start to change, so can things with your roof. It's raining today, right? We had a little bit of rain earlier this morning. We're going to have some rain later today and over the weekend. That's when you might start noticing problems. Might hear a drip. Let Century Roofing take care of those needs for you with a free estimate over at centuryroofingkc.com. I've used them multiple times. It's great for a variety of reasons. One, they were really easy to get a hold of. When we had the wind pick up the back of the screen porch, I called like any other customer. Just went to Century Roofing KC, put in a request, made a call and said, hey, I need something to get worked on. And it was the owner of Century Roofing helping me out immediately. She said, Cody, is that you? I said, yeah, I just need a little bit of work done on the roof. They're like, no problem at all. Treat you like everyone else. We'll get somebody out tomorrow and make sure you're squared away. Got somebody out there, got the roof fixed. So easy. They've handled over 35,000 roofs. They handle all kinds of different materials. They've been working, or 30,000 roofs. They've been working in Kansas City for 35 years in this area and voted best of Johnson County 4 years in a row. Voted best roofing company in Kansas City, thanks to readers over at the Kansas City Star. So you know that they're professional, will handle it for you, and take care of it the right way. They have the experience to work with insurance companies if that's needed as well. So if you have roofing needs, go to centuryroofingkc.com and tell them that Cody sent you.
It's football season, and I can't wait for the games. And now I have even more reason to cheer on the Chiefs. I just head to Hy-Vee the day after any game and score savings at the pump with my Hy-Vee Perks card. Win or lose, I earn a fuel saver discount equal to the Chiefs score based on the amount I spend. If the Chiefs score 35 points, I save 35 cents per gallon when I spend $35 on groceries. The more we score, the more I save only at Hy-Vee. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
It's game day, and nothing says Chiefs football like the aroma of a tailgate grill. Kick off your pregame party with a Kingdom Meat Bundle from Hy-Vee. Get 4 boneless chicken breasts, 4 pork chops, 4 bratwurst, and 4 chuck patties for just $30. Plus, get a 10-cent per gallon fuel saver. Toss in some chips and dip, side dishes, and Chiefs-themed baked goods. Score the extra point with your favorite tailgate beverage from Hy-Vee Wine and Spirit. Just one stop for all your game day needs, only at Hy-Vee.
Things are getting spooky in South Kansas City, but the deals at Rob Side Ford, they're scary good. Rob Side is with me. Hey, Rob, what's haunting the lot this month?
No tricks, just treats. From Broncos to Explorers to F-150s and commercial vehicles, we've got the inventory, the selection, and the lowest prices in Kansas City.
And no creepy sales tactics, just non-commissioned staff and real value.
Exactly. And while we're on the scary stuff, Kevin, your brisket from last weekend still haunts me.
Okay, dry rub shouldn't actually mean dry.
But here's the real flavor. KC's only top-rated Ford dealer on Google, 4.8 stars with nearly 3,000 reviews. Voted best car dealership in KC by Kansas City Magazine.
If you want simple, upfront, and easy, Rob Side Ford is the treat you've been looking for. Visit 135th and State Line and buy right with Rob Site.
Rob Site Ford, ROBSIGHT.com. And Kevin, leave the cooking to us this Halloween.
Airman here for Midwest Heating. Now, we like to approach life in a lighthearted manner, but with the projected rise in natural gas prices, this winter's heating bills may be no joking matter. Many old furnaces have efficiency ratings as low as 60%, which means you're literally burning money. So think about this. Midwest Heating has a variety of high-efficiency Lennox systems that can heat your home, drastically improve your air quality, and boost that efficiency as high as 99%. Saving that kind of money each month will be a nice help for the other bills in your life. Even better, Midwest offers up to $1,800 in rebates on qualifying Lennox home comfort systems and up to 60-month 0% financing with approved credit. Dial 943-8787 or go to MidwestHeating.com for complete details. Now, for 7 decades, it's the same story. Trust your air to the best. Midwest. Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Too many tools, too much stress, and way too many bills.
Odoo replaces it all. One connected platform for every part of your business, so you can work faster, smarter, and for less. Odoo, the only software you'll ever need. Try it free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Think Verizon, the best 5G network, is expensive? Think again. Bring in your AT&T or T-Mobile bill to a Verizon store today and we'll give you a better deal. Now, what to do with your unwanted bills? Maybe turn them into paper airplanes headed to See You Never AT&T and T-Mobile. Jokes aside, the best 5G network has you covered with the most ways to save on plans, streaming, and phone deals. So bring in your bill to your local Verizon store today and we'll give you a better deal. Rankings based on Root Metric True Score report dated 1H2025. Your results may vary. Must provide a postpaid consumer mobile bill dated within the past 45 days. Bill must be in the same name as the person redeeming the deal. Additional terms apply.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
J. Rieger & Co. Oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City. J. Rieger & Co. Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Winner of Best Craft Bourbon at the 2025 Ascot Awards. At 90 proof, it's rich, well-balanced, and oh, so good. Quality crafted in Kansas City.
Join me, Drew Nixon, this weekend, Saturday the 25th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at T-Mobile at the Legends in KCK to celebrate and meet your local first responders. It's a free event with food, games, giveaways, and exclusive offers. See you there.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this. Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Chiefs Red Half Hour brought to you by All Weather Decks, Kansas City's most respected deck builder. Check them out at allweatherdecks.net. I was gone on a field trip yesterday, by the way, not illegal sports wagering.
What? How was it?
It was
where was it at?
It was at a nature, like a little nature conservatory thing where you just like walk a path and go down, and he taught him about.
Was this for your son or daughter?
Yeah, son, for like water samples and stuff. The one thing I'll say is, and I won't name the place or whatever, it doesn't really matter, but
okay,
it was he had it with the kids by the end of this thing.
The guy working there.
The guy running the show, who my impression of was like a guy that was clearly hippie in the 60s and just wants to like work in nature and kick it.
Cool. Okay.
Great. Found a good niche for himself in that regard. Perfect little setup. Go down and take water samples and show kids little insects, and they got to like pet a turtle. Perfect.
All right.
But by the end of it, he was like, all right. Almost like Chris Farley on the bus in Billy Madison. He had it. If you throw one more rock, like, and it's a group of first graders, and they're by rocks and water. So, like, resisting is hard in that situation. And so
do they normally not have younger kids going on this trip?
I don't know. He had said some of the stuff. He's like, he had said like 3 different times, well, this part's like, this is a little more for older kids, or this is a little more for older kids. I don't think he liked I think the first grader part was getting to the man and like controlling. And then he's like, the only thing we have left is I need a bunch of cats. And like, clearly it just, like herding cats. I think that man poured himself a drink, I think, when that group of first graders left. I think he just went back in his office.
What were you doing? You were just chaperoning?
Yeah, just like you were allowed to tag along. So it wasn't even much of a chaperone gig. Mostly just hung out with my son while he did this stuff. It was a pretty low key one. I wasn't even really responsible for any, except for the one kid who tried to fall off the path into the creek. That was the only one I was protecting just because.
Caught a kid?
I didn't. I just had to, like, they were millimeters from the edge of just, and I was just like, get back. Please watch your feet. Small child, but that guy had it. He was over it. I felt bad. By the time we were done, we're like, thanks, man. Good work. Please enjoy your time.
So did you pet the turtle?
I did. I mean,
I was just curious.
Why not?
Yeah.
Win in Rome.
How old was the turtle?
They did not specify. Said it was just donated to them. They didn't.
There were no crocodiles or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
Which we got that cleared up during the break, thanks to our listeners. Crocs are threatened. Gators can be hunted with government-issued tags. That's why you can have gator bites, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Versus Crocs.
Because I've eaten gator, and so have you, Drew, right?
Yeah.
Gators.
It's very good.
Yeah. 1,100 pounds up to Crocs can get up to 2,200 pounds. There you go. There's our science lesson of the day.
Sweet.
Yeah, let's talk some Chiefs football here on Cody and Gold. And a question that you were asking us, we were talking about before the show as well, and that you think the Chiefs have to ask themselves, and that is, hey, as much as we all agree, and I have said over and over, I want Brashard Smith to continue to have an increased role in this team. And he's explosive when he touches the ball. I think there's a thought from a fan base, and you said this, that would he actually be the better full-time option or not?
Yeah, so I think that the Chiefs are going to have to answer this question. I think they actually have answered this question for themselves. And I want this to be an exercise for fans too, for where they are at the running back right now. And this is what I think the Chiefs have to answer. Do you think the Chiefs would be a better rushing team or a better offense if Brashard Smith was the full-time running back the way they use Isaiah Pacheco? And here's the truth. As much as I like Brashard Smith and like the role he plays on this team, I think the answer is no. I do not think they would get an improved rushing attack if Brashard Smith handled the ball on as many carries as Pacheco did and they just reversed the roles. Do I think Smith can run the ball sometimes? Sure. Do I think they'd be better if they reversed the roles in the rushing attack from Pacheco and Brashard Smith? No. And the Chiefs have to answer that question for themselves, both for this year and for the long term, because it's going to tell them what they need to do at running back in the long haul. But I think the answer is no. And so when you start looking at the running attack and you get frustrated by maybe it's this or that, ask yourself that. Gold, I don't think they're better with a different person getting the full-time carries than Pacheco.
So I think Pacheco has been much better the last couple weeks. Kareem Hunt has really found his role again as the short yardage back. And so the running game, while it's not elite by any means, it works. Everything else offensively is flowing better. It's opened up the running game even more. I think Pacheco has just been better ever since he kind of was semi-benched in game, it felt like, for a couple of snaps.
Yeah.
Brashard Smith, though, has more juice. And so full-time, nobody in the team is ever getting 20 carries.
15 carries.
So on 14 carries, I actually think he would provide them more explosiveness, right? Now, on a 3rd and 1, I don't want Brashard Smith getting the carry. I would want that to still be Kareem Hunt.
He's the third most effective back in short yardage this year, so that doesn't change.
So that's kind of where I'm at, whereas I acknowledge that Pacheco's been way better the last 3 weeks, and I think this current system of how they're attacking teams on the ground with Hunt, Pacheco, and a little bit of Smith worked in is working. But if you ask me, if Brashard Smith got 12 carries suddenly on Monday Night Football, would I view the offense as even more explosive? Absolutely.
I think I'd view it as about the same or worse. I think this is not I think Brashard Smith is talented and has talent, but something about the way that they treat him is he is not. They have stopped treating him like a running back, and instead treat him like a 6 wide receiver.
Well, he was a receiver.
And I understand. Yeah, there's an appeal in that, no doubt about it. But they are going through these motions a little bit and treating it in a way where it seems like they don't trust him to run. And I think Pacheco's a better runner than we give him credit for. He's not an electric runner.
He runs into contact. That's when he's at his best.
His vision is still not the best, admittedly. So maybe there's some potential there. But I do think that in the end, that is the question they're asking themselves, because they've switched running back roles halfway through the year all the time.
Well, Pacheco himself was the beneficiary of that a couple years ago when they decided to switch away from Clyde. Now, there was an injury involved there, too.
Probably 3 different times that I can think of. The LaShawn McCoy, the Isaiah Pacheco. There's at least 3 times that they've switched running back roles in the middle of the year and just shifted off of one and into the other and allowed somebody else to take it. So this would be the break point of when Pacheco, to your point, got more carries than the back he was behind. But I honestly don't think they're better if Brashard Smith got all the carries. I've come to kind of like the balance.
Well, right now it's working.
I've come to kind of like the balance in the system that they've set up for Brashard gets 2, 3, 4 catches a game. Kareem does all the short yardage, and Pacheco does what the regular running back stuff. It's 2nd and 7, and we're handing the ball off. Here you go, Isaiah. It does seem to be a nice balance to me.
Which is why if we take this and get into the trade deadline conversation, which is less than 2 weeks away. It's a week from Tuesday, as a matter of fact, at 3 Central Time. It's why I don't think, whether we think Smith should get the ball more or not, and I do, they're not going to trade for a running back. It's not going to happen. If Hunt and Pacheco and Smith are healthy for the next week and a half, and hopefully all year, but you get my point, then to me, they're not trading for running back. And honestly, at this point, I don't want them giving up an asset for that unless they are under the impression that if they trade for a Breece Hall or somebody like that, that he is their starting running back in 2026, and this is a trade that they think is a better opportunity to improve the position than they'll have in the offseason. Like
it's a little how we were talking about the Royals at the trade deadline. I remember you were saying, don't just pick up guys for the short term, pick up guys that actively help you.
That's the only way I think it would make sense to trade for a running back at this point, is if you say, all right, this is a guy that we don't think we can get a better option in the offseason via draft or free agency. Let's go get him now. He helps us in 25. And we'll go ahead and work on an extension even, or tag. In Breece Hall's case, we could franchise tag him or whatever. That's the only way trading for a back, to me, is all that realistic at this point in time. Otherwise, I think, as we just got to discussing, they like this balance that they have. They feel like all three of these guys help them in a different way, and they don't need to give up a draft asset. In the offseason, they will have to bring in another running back or two because of expiring contracts with Hunt and Pacheco.
As much as I give them credit for finding guys who fit inside their system, like use Juju Smith-Schuster or some of these other guys, it's really good examples of finding guys in their offense. And Tyquan, right? Tyquan works better in the Chiefs system than he did with the Patriots or any of these other things. They need to start looking at running backs added to this who can run in shotgun. Because I will say, either they need to change their run scheme to be better at running in shotgun, or they just need to run under center more. Because more than even the back, I got to be honest, more than even just the running back, it sure seems to me that their issues in running is their scheme is better under center. That they're a better running team, blocking team, anything under center than anything else. And so, is it the back, or is it the style? Your run scheme is bad, or you don't have the right fit talent-wise of guys who run better in shotgun than guys who don't, and you got to find the back that fits your style better. Because it's not that there are never any gaps for Isaiah Pacheco. We talked about this all the time. We've shown some clips in which he's just running into the back of defenders.
Well, I think we would agree. I mean, what they have right now, this will work. Doesn't mean that everybody's thrilled with the backfield, but this, with everything else they have weapon-wise on the offense and the way Mahomes is playing this year, this offense, I know you never want to say good enough, like that's not a great philosophy, and in going for a championship, like you're always trying to find a way to put you over the top even more. I just don't think they're trading for a back to do that unless it's a 2026 decision. Now, other names that ESPN listed off, and they did a list of top 25 trade candidates, there was a couple defensive linemen. That is where I think they will have to address. That's where they are clearly weaker, whether it's interior or trading for another edge rusher. I'm out on the running back or any offensive player. There's no need to trade for any offensive player.
No, I already think it's a great offense even without doing that. And that's what I guess makes it interesting is like when I look at that list from Jeremy Fowler of the top 25 trade candidates, the two guys that they mentioned as a fit for the Chiefs are Breece Hall, offensive player, and Jalen Phillips, edge player, who obviously they could use some help on. The problem with the edge player is the rotation there does kind of make sense. And their bigger issues are on the interior defensive line. And when I went through the list, I'm like, all right, let me scroll down. Let me find an interior defensive lineman. Okay, I see my first defensive lineman at 7 in Jalen Phillips. Second defensive lineman in Jermaine Johnson, edge, right? Same spot. A lot of corners, Arden Key, edge. It's like there aren't as many interior defensive linemen available in the trade market. I think I'm going to view, because I think any move the Chiefs make, truthfully, at this point, and a little over a week from now when the trade deadline happens, week and a half, I think anything they do is going to be minor gold. It's going to be Colin Saunders, which Briscoe mentioned a minute ago. It's going to be someone of that level or around that level. So more interesting to me this trade deadline is how much better do the teams that are active threats to Kansas City get? Who do the Broncos, Chargers, Bills, Colts, and Patriots trade for? And look, that's extending it out a little bit further of some of the teams I take serious, admittedly, or take more serious than others. But if the Bills get they get Chris Olave, they get a legit wide receiver weapon, they get a better defensive lineman, they improve their team dramatically. Well, those are the trades I'm going to be paying attention to because I don't think the Chiefs are going to be swimming in those waters.
Yeah, I want to bookmark something right now for when we get to the trade deadline. So here we are on October 24th, and the trade deadline is a week from Tuesday. These conversations are a ton of fun, right? Like it's fun to speculate on who somebody's going to trade for and all this, and this guy's a candidate and all that. What happens every year around the trade deadline? I know they push the deadline back.
In the NFL, it's usually pretty mild. There's occasionally a big trade or two, but in the NFL, it's usually pretty mild.
I guess what I'm saying is there's going to be a lot of noise about trades. And most of the time, not every time, most of the time, the majority, the trade deadline ends up being like, oh, that's That's all I got moved. That's all that happened. Now, it is later this year than it's been. So maybe that encourages teams to go ahead
teams out of it
and say, all right, we know we're not making the playoffs. Let's go ahead and look ahead to the future. But that's my only thing I will say. Anytime we have, because this will not be the last time. I know we talk trade deadline, and it's fun. It's fun to talk about. I will just remind people that usually, unlike the NBA trade deadline or the MLB trade deadline, NFL trade deadline is usually underwhelming.
And typically, yes. And it doesn't mean, and I think it was Adam Schefter, it was like 2 weeks ago. He had said on the tweet, he'd be like, I expect every Monday from this Monday. And look, I'm obviously doing dramatized for the reason that you're making that face. Every Monday for the rest of Mondays, I expect an important trade to take place before the NFL trade deadline. Do I think every single major player mentioned, like on this list, right? They mention Calvin Ridley. They mention Trey Hendrickson. And to Fowler's credit, he does assign a percentage chance he thinks they're going to get traded. Trey Henderson, 20%. He's not saying it's likely. He put Jalen Waddle, 10%. Breece Hall, 35%. Still below half, in his opinion. He didn't get to half until it was Reek Woolen from the Seahawks or, I don't know, Logan Wilson, right, for Cincinnati, who's requested a trade, so at least there's a possibility. He only put Chris Olave at a 20% chance. And truth is, why trade Chris Olave when you're seeing Spencer Rattler show you some stuff and you're trying to find out how good he is? Can you find out how good he is if you just take away his number one receiving weapon? In my opinion, you can't. You can't make any decisions on whether or not he's your two-year starter.
It's because he's got a club option next year. It's probably one of those where they feel like unless you're going to actually sign him to an extension in the offseason, you're probably moving on from Chris Olave.
Legitimately, the only one he put above 50% was Logan Wilson, a player who was
because he
actively requested a trade. Mm-hmm. Everyone else, he's got a 10, 25% chance. So the truth is, Gold, I think only a handful of moves will get made that impact the Chiefs directly. Most of them will be the size of the type of deal I think the Chiefs are doing. But for the team that gets it, for the team that makes the swing and gets the player, I am interested to see how that impacts the AFC race.
Yeah, and someone brought up the name that we discussed a couple days ago, Christian Wilkins, and that's one that's not a trade. Remember that is just they can call up his agent and check in. But I think if something happens there, that's closer to Thanksgiving. And also, we don't have to get back into the whole conversation. There's also a lot of stuff that I don't know how the league will handle, teams will handle. There's a lot of rumors out there and stuff like that, unrelated to just the health of his foot. And we don't have all the details on it. And so I don't know if that ends up deterring teams or not. We'll see. I would absolutely, though, check in on him. I'm with you, as we said earlier in the week.
It's also weird with the NFL trade deadline because sometimes you know the names. It's good to remember that just seeing the name does not mean it's going to work. Like, look, the text line had pointed out correctly. Amari Cooper got traded to the Bills. We saw that trade and we're like, ooh, damn. Didn't even give up that much. We're like, that's a pretty good deal for Buffalo on paper. Like, I don't know what's not to like. They pretty much gave up nothing for a guy who might end up being their best wide receiver this year. He finished the season with 20 catches for 297 yards and 2 touchdowns for the Bills. That's not nothing. It doesn't mean he wasn't a part of their offense in any way. Not exactly high impact. The Chiefs added DeAndre Hopkins. Now, they were desperate, and we know that they needed, they needed somebody to throw the football to. You might be surprised to know that he caught 5 touchdowns for the Chiefs.
I think it's very hard for an offensive player.
But he had 41 for 437. He was twice as effective.
I think it's really
as
hard
Amari Cooper
for an offensive player to come in midseason and really have a massive impact. And again, it goes back to usually the deadline is underwhelming. It ends up usually not being as effective at the deadline. And usually you're overpaying at the deadline as far as compensation on top of it.
Yeah, and I don't disagree. Like, it'd be a bigger deal if the Colts had a defensive lineman than it would be if they added a wide receiver. And they're not going to add a running back because they have Jonathan Taylor, and he's pretty good. But so when you look at these moves, it's like, one, Gold, like you said, we have to actually see the move take place. But secondly, we also have to see the move actually pan out before we start panicking that it's a fit. And this happens in MLB trade deadline too. Eugenio Suarez is a really good example of that. He didn't do a ton for the Mariners in the regular season. After they made what was a pretty big trade for them. He obviously came up in a couple of hits in the postseason. They need to make some huge deal on there. And sometimes it's just hard to know which ones are going to hit.
Unrelated to the Chiefs, there were a couple tight ends on the trade deadline list, guys, veterans like Mark Andrews, for example. Obviously, the Chiefs are not in that market, thank goodness. But Nate Taylor had some interesting thoughts on Travis Kelce and how the rest of the season could look. Because this offense now has all these playmakers, could they try to ease back a little bit? And this is why when we were going through the projected stats, the pacing stats, like, is he really going to have 104 catches? I don't think so. Here's what Nate had to say about Rice helping Kelce get some rest.
The best part is that this should help Travis Kelce manage his body for the rest of the season so that he's ready to go in January. He does not have to have the burden that he did in 2023 or even at portions of last season because of all the injuries at receiver. So just spread the ball around. And, hey, when you get into the red zone, find your matchups like they did against the Raiders, and then hopefully you execute to a high level, and you keep this trend up. And this is wild, guys. Despite them kind of not beating anyone of real significance, which I know we talked about earlier, and despite no one in the league really knowing who's good and who's, like, actually, like, great, the Chiefs have scored on over half their possessions.
Look, I'll believe it when I see it. I actually hope Nate's right. Do I want a more than usual fresh Travis Kelce for a playoff run? Hell yeah. He is at his lowest snap count since his first year as an NFL starter after he had gotten injured. So his first year is like playing football. He's at his lowest snap count since then at just 72% of the offensive snaps. Admittedly, that was pretty skewed by the last game against the Raiders, in which none of the starters needed to play that many snaps at all. He only played 61.7. I will point out, he would be below his career average and below the last 5 years in 6 of the 7 games this year. So they are snap counting him. Whether we like it or not, they have reduced Travis Kelce's offensive snaps. We thought when they were struggling, that was part of the reason he was pissed, is that we're losing and I'm not on the field. This won't work. Now we won't care. They're winning and he's not on the field. Not as big of a deal, right? You don't feel like, hey, put me out there. I can help you. It's 3rd and 1. Let me get out there. He has played in less than 80% of the snaps in every game but the first game this year. And that was probably because Worthy got hurt in the first snap.
Well, the offense runs through Rashee Rice. We know that. We saw it last year before he got hurt, and we saw it immediately, last week. And Travis Kelce, when it comes to moving the chains, you still rely on him. He can still be someone that you trust and all that, the relationship that him and Mahomes have and all of that stuff you can't teach. They just kind of have that chemistry. All that is still in play. But, yeah, you want to make sure at his age that he's available for the biggest games. And that maybe that's Buffalo next week. But then it's maybe not until, the Colts or, it's in the postseason, whatever it may be. I think it's very smart if that is actually how the Chiefs are going to try to approach things. Up next, let's get to what's trending, and then we'll be joined by Gabe DeArmond from PowerMizzou.com. We'll talk more about Missouri's huge game against Vandy tomorrow.
This is Cody and Gold. Tune in for Nate Taylor every Tuesday at 1 o'clock, right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Cody and Gold are brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
More than a few of our patients have talked to me about their first time, but it's not the first time you're probably thinking about. It's the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined the moment. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're over 50, it's likely that you've had that first time yourself. But the good news is that if you're like most men, that first time can be the last time that ED impacts your sex life. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men using protocols with success rates well over 90%. And those treatments have, in most cases, made sex great again for both them and their partners. You could even find that you're performing like you haven't in years. So if ED has been affecting your intimacy, it's time to make the last time that happens the last time that happens. For just $99, you'll receive blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
It's a Red Friday on 96.5 The Fan, and the other place is your sports watching headquarters this fall. Now with 5 great area locations: Shawnee, Olathe, downtown Overland Park, Mission, and Belton. Enjoy Red Friday specials all day.
FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is coming to Missouri. On December 1st, you'll finally be able to bet on all your favorite teams and all your favorite sports. With FanDuel, there's a ton of ways for you to get in on the action. You can bet everything from the money line to over-unders to which team will win it all. You'll be able to build parlays, bet player props, or even ride the live line. Whatever your style, FanDuel has you covered. Plus, with live betting, you can pick which player will score the next touchdown or the touchdown after that. However you play your game, FanDuel's got your back. On December 1st, you'll be able to see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. With FanDuel, there's a ton of ways for you to get in on the action. FanDuel, play your game. FanDuel Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, it's Dusty Likens, and nothing says Thanksgiving like football. Verizon is giving you a chance to enter and win 2 tickets and travel for 2 to the Thanksgiving Day football game in Texas. Enter for a chance to win tickets to the Thanksgiving Day game in Texas. Don't miss your shot at the ultimate holiday football experience. Visit a local participating Verizon store in Kansas City to enter the Thanksgiving Day game sweepstakes.
No purchase necessary. 18 plus, 50 USDC. Start 10/17, end 11/16. Void where prohibited. For a list of participating stores and official rules, visit Verizon.com/Thanksgiving Game Day Sweeps KC.
Tomorrow, you'll hear Kansas State football in place of the John Clay Wolf Show. But don't forget, you can still catch the show live on the John Clay Wolf YouTube channel. Sponsored by Give Me the VIN, America's best car buyer.
Hey, listen to this. All I needed was a new starter. Got a great deal on eBay. Did it myself.
Yeah, that's cool. But how about the soft purr of an upgraded exhaust when it fits just right?
For me, it's the little things, like these new windshield wipers from eBay I installed. From small fixes to big upgrades, eBay has all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take DayQuil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the DayQuil.
Undo your flu symptoms with DayQuil Intense Flu. DayQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
DayQuil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu, medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
Think Verizon, the best 5G network, is expensive? Think again. Bring in your AT&T or T-Mobile bill to a Verizon store today and we'll give you a better deal. Now, what to do with your unwanted bills? Maybe turn them into paper airplanes headed to See Ya Never AT&T and T-Mobile. Jokes aside, the best 5G network has you covered with the most ways to save on plans, streaming, and phone deals. So bring in your bill to your local Verizon store today and we'll give you a better deal. Rankings based on root metrics score report dated 1H 2025. Your results may vary. Must provide a postpaid consumer mobile bill dated within the past 45 days. Bill must be in the same name as the person redeeming the deal. Additional terms apply.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station. What's trending?
God dang!
Brought to you by Telly Tire and Auto Centers. Winning starts with a great drive. Since 1942, Telly's certified techs have delivered complete car care with top brand tires and expert auto service. Keep your drive going. Take it to Telly. Visit TellyTire.com today.
Number one on what's trending, the Dodgers and Blue Jays, game one of the World Series tonight in Toronto. Blake Snell gets the nod. The Dodgers are minus 154 favorites. They're also favorites in the series overall. I believe it's the rookie going tonight. I don't know how to pronounce his last name for the Blue Jays tonight. The rookie who has been pretty darn good, but that's a hell of a spot for a rookie. It's game one of the World Series. I'll side with Blake Snell and the Dodgers tonight, but 7:01 first pitch.
Yeah, I would say that that's part of where at least we run into that. Next up on What's Trending, the streetcar has officially been expanded in Missouri. That way, it's all the way down to UMKC officially. They had a little celebration. The Roo was out there, the mascot, Got to make sure that you get that way. But it's big. October 24th, it's now. The Main Street expansion is complete and open for riders across the city. So another spot to go in the city.
Well, also big for the World Cup. We know the World Cup's coming here in the summer, and streetcar is going to be a huge part of the transportation aspect for the hundreds of thousands of people, potentially, that are going to be coming into Kansas City for the World Cup. Elsewhere on What's Trending, we're going to talk college football in 10 minutes with Gabe DeArmond from Power Mizzou, because Missouri has a huge top 25 matchup in Nashville taking on Vandy. The Tigers are slight underdogs in that one, trying to keep their college football playoff hopes alive. Diego Pavia, one of the Heisman candidates at the top of the list, one of the favorites at this point in time. And then you got K-State 11 a.m. kickoff right here, in fact, on 96.5 The Fan, as the Jayhawks host the Kansas State Wildcats. KU trying to snap a 16-game losing streak for 16 years. They have been able to beat the Kansas State Wildcats.
As we wait for Gabe DeArmond, we can talk a little bit about the KU-K-State Sunflower Showdown version of it, because you've got Kansas winning for the first time in 16 attempts, which would certainly be there. Lastly, on What's Trending, Brian Dable was fined $100,000, the Giants $200,000, and Cam Scadaboo $15,000 for the injury concussion protocol that took place for Jackson Dart. As you remember, Brian Dable yelled at the medical professional as he was trying to take a look at him. So Giants got a big fine. He got a big fine. And Scadaboo, who went into the tent and was also not allowed to do that, was fined $15,000 as well.
I think the NFL had to do that. Like, we could have our issues with how the NFL handles things, but the optics were terrible. If you guys remember, it was a couple primetime games ago, and Jackson Dart got hit pretty good. And he was on the field for a little bit, stalling, I think, to get his way to the medical tent. And then Dable was mad at the team doctor and the independent neurologist for going through concussion protocol. And then Cam Scadaboo interfered with the evaluation by opening up the blue medical tent and peeking his head in and checking on his guy, which, okay, you're like, well, what's wrong with that? You can't interfere with the evaluation.
Yeah, trying to make sure the guy's not concussed.
So it was a bad look for the NFL, and I think everybody expected the Giants to get fined. I think maybe the Scadaboo fine is surprising, but they want to make sure other players don't feel like they can just go in there and interfere with, it's supposed to be an independent evaluation.
Correct. And the second that you've been yelled at by the head coach, and it did not help that he came back in the game. Had they ruled
he
him
was
out?
cleared. He was cleared.
I know, but
eventually.
I'm saying, that doesn't somehow help the optics, even though it's probably accurate, Gold. Had they ruled him out for the game, even if Dable yelled at him, it's like, well, they still followed the rules and all this, and I assume they did. But yeah, you just can't. You can't yell at the independent evaluator being like, get my guy back in the game. Come on. Concussions? That's crazy. The KU-K-State game, which I want to talk about for a minute before we talk to Missouri side with Gabe DeArmond of Power Mizzou coming up in about 5 minutes. This feels like a very high-scoring game. And what I like best about it, Gold, is that you're a Kansas grad. I didn't go to KU or K-State. I view it as a massive game for Kleiman's job security at K-State. As in, there's already some questions because they're in a down year, even though they gave him the extension. But if you start losing to a team that Kansas State fans just straight up aren't accustomed to losing to. First off, Kansas was a laughingstock for a while. Now they're a credible team. They have a team that for a while this year looked better than K-State's, but maybe they're about the same this year. At home, Kansas is favored, but at the same time, Kleiman can't lose to a team. You can't have a bad year and lose to Kansas. This goes to any Ohio State, Michigan. You can have bad years at big schools. Don't also lose the rivalry game if it's capable of getting. Not like you're facing the number one team in the country. This is a capable game for K-State.
So of course it's a huge game, and it's one if you're Dable and all, you want to have it. It doesn't look good. I don't think his job's in jeopardy this year at all. No matter what happens the rest of the season.
Not this year. I just meant the long term.
I don't think Chris Kleiman has anything to worry about job wise for this season, based on what he's been able to do, which is have a lot of success actually in his time there. I view it on the opposite end for KU. I think you're Lance Leipold. You have not been able to beat your rival. You clearly have, recruited better than they have in a while. There seems to be great momentum with your program. This year, you had higher expectations than maybe where you're trending, but you're taking on a K-State team that appears to be having a down season, and you're at home. This is the last year you're going to have,
Jalen Daniels.
Jalen Daniels, who only has 2 picks on the year. He's been really efficient. He's not making mistakes. It kind of feels like if it's not this year, then when the hell is it happening? It's been 16 years. I actually think there's way more pressure on Lance Leipold to get this done. Like, this is a coin flip type of game. I understand the line says KU is a 3.5-point favorite, but like, this is a coin flip type of game, given it is a rivalry. But I think Leipold needs it more than Chris Kleiman.
I think it's very much a coin flip game on paper. Like, I'm not like uber confident on either side of the coin, Kansas winning or Kansas State winning. I think I would pick Kansas State to win. I think you said you'd pick Kansas to win, but neither of us are coming here and be like, yeah, we're for sure that that's going to happen. We just all seem to agree that it's going to be high scoring. Look, there's pressure on both sides. I'm not trying to pretend that there's not.
Do you mean like head coach pressure, like job security pressure, or do you mean team pressure?
No, long-term job security pressure.
Job pressure, I think, is Kleiman. The team is Kansas. But I like Lance Leipold is not going to be under any pressure, any more pressure.
Neither coach's job is in jeopardy.
Not for the game itself.
Not for this year.
Yeah. It is just, if you are Kansas, you lose 16 years in a row. I don't care who the head coach is.
Couldn't scrap one out.
It's time for you to win, for crying out loud. As a program.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I just feel like when I start diving it into coach, it feels more on climate. But I don't disagree in Kansas football, and this is where it took them a long time to get out of the doldrums. They are still not some world-beating, unstoppable monster of a football program.
For sure.
But they are at least a passable football program who wins games and gets to go to bowl games sometimes. But part of me, Gold, if you're just mentioning program stuff, this is where I kind of agree with you in the sense that you got to make sure you get past some of these markers still to prove that you're still going in the right direction as a program.
You've lost for 16 years. Yeah. 16 years.
Bigger program thing for me than Leipold.
So I think it is a shootout. I know it's supposed to rain tomorrow, but it's not going to be all that windy. I do think both KU and K-State offensively can move the football. All right, a game later on in the day, massive college football playoff implications, top 25 matchup in Nashville, Vandy and Mizzou. We go out to Columbia to check in with Gabe DeArmond from PowerMizzou.com. Gabe, it's good to have you on the show again. I think we had you on earlier in the year. We were asking you, at that time, how big of a game, I think it was KU-MU. All right, here we go again. They already had Alabama a few weeks ago. Where does this one stack up for Eli Drinkwitz and the Tigers?
I mean, as of right now, it's the biggest one they've had, and that's kind of how these seasons work. As long as you remain in contention, if you win, the next one's always bigger, regardless of, what the name is on the other jersey. I know, like Vandy, they played Alabama and they played LSU, but the truth is this is the biggest game they've played this year, too, because it's later in the season.
It just feels like both these teams, it's the winner has a really good path to the college football playoff, and the loser, it's a long shot, right? World's going to be hard. You're going to have to win out, not screw up once for the rest of this season. That's why it feels so big to me.
Yeah, the best way I've heard it described, it's not a play-in game, but it might be a play-out game. Because the winner has work to do, but you keep your chances alive. I would say, I don't know how they set probabilities and all that, but I think the winner of this has probably a better than 50% chance to get there. The loser, I think, significantly lower because, like you said, they got to go 4-0. They both got 2 road games left. They both play 2 ranked teams. It's mathematically possible, but it's going to be real tough.
Ahmad Hardy has been awesome this year for the Tigers. Last week was a tougher go and a gritty win for Missouri. Going into this game and now seeing how I think more and more people have been talking about the lack of a true deep threat in the passing game for Missouri. Ahmad Hardy obviously is a huge factor in the game, but is there a scenario you can see Missouri winning on the road in this spot if Ahmad Hardy is, shut down by Vanderbilt?
Shut down the way he was last week? No, I don't think so because, Auburn should have won that game. They just continue to find multiple ways to lose games. If Vandy holds him to 50 yards and holds Missouri under 100, I don't think Missouri can win. Now, I don't think he has to, have some of the games he was having earlier in the year against Louisiana and KU and things like that. But I do think he has to there has to be more room to run than there was last week. And this Vandy defense, it's good. The numbers are good. I do not think they are as good up front as Auburn and Alabama are.
Auburn's got a lot of NFL guys on the defense, right? So we assume Missouri will have an easier time scoring in this game.
Yeah, I would certainly think so. I mean, I will be surprised if 20 points wins this game. I felt pretty good going into last week that 20 points would win that game, and there was a lot of revisionist history. I mean, we talked all week last week. It's going to be an ugly game. It's going to be low scoring. It's at night on the road. This is not going to be easy. And then it wasn't easy And we all kind of freaked out and said, oh, no, Auburn's no good. Maybe Missouri's no good. Well, maybe they just won a game where they didn't play their best in a really tough spot.
I got to say, part of it, and this is going to go to like talking about Bo Perbula, they eventually got the game-winning score, right? They get the win, all of those things. But in back-to-back games, it's the fourth quarter. He's got the ball in his hands. He's got a chance to win this game or get back in the game or tie the game from whatever, right? Have a chance to win the thing for Missouri, and he looked bad in those drives in the late fourth quarter. Well, at least in the first game.
Right. Against Auburn, he went 5 for 5 and got them to the 30-yard line. And then they had a play where neither one of their offensive tackles blocked anybody, and he got sacked. You know, I had a bunch of people say, you can't take that sack. I said, I don't know what he's supposed to do. Like, he had nothing to do in that situation. You know, so I thought in the Alabama game, he made mistakes, and he didn't really make up for it with big plays. In the Auburn game, he made some mistakes. He also made up for it with making some pretty big plays. I mean, the 3rd and 8 throw to Kevin Coleman in overtime to set up the game-winning touchdown was an elite-level throw.
When you look at the down the field stuff, how real do you think that is? People talking about their inability to get the ball down the field.
Oh, I think that's a real thing. I asked Drinkwitz about it actually last week before the Auburn game, and he acted kind of surprised, like, I didn't know we had all these problems I need to go check out. But it's a real thing. They've thrown, I think it's now 17 passes, more than 20 yards in the air in 7 games, and it's the fewest in the SEC. They've completed, 7 or 8 of them. Like, it hasn't really been there. But they did take a couple shots against Auburn. One of them was basically a punt on that last drive and got picked off, and that's fine. But earlier in the game, he took a deep shot to Marquise Johnson, and it wasn't complete, but they ended up getting 30 yards of penalties on that play. So net gain there.
We're talking to Gabe DeArmond of PowerMizzou.com here on 96.5 The Fan. Missouri defensively is obviously been a huge reason why the Tigers are where they are at this point. You're going up against Diego Pavia, who is slowly climbing up the Heisman odds. I think he's got the 4th or 5th best odds to win the Heisman, depending on where you look. How do you feel about the Missouri Tigers defense trying to slow down Pavia and the Vanderbilt offense?
Well, that's the key, is slow down. You're not stopping him entirely, right? I mean, Alabama did the best job against him this year. The second half was very good, but they also did a good job in part because he turned the ball over twice inside the 20-yard line. You know, he doesn't make a ton of mistakes, but he can make them. I think if you ask me what I'm most confident in about this Missouri team, and this is not just tomorrow, this is all season long, it's that defense. You know, they had 2 pretty costly plays against Alabama. 3rd and 24 and 4th and 2. But, like, other than that, when this defense has had to make a play, it's made every single one. And the offense put them in some real bad spots against Auburn last week. And that defense, I mean, Auburn had 1st and goal at the 5 and 3rd and goal at the 1. And Missouri held them to a field goal. And if you don't hold them to a field goal there, you're losing. Because if you go down 21-10, that game was over. And Missouri kept them out of the end zone. So I think this defense will do enough to give them a chance. I don't know if it's going to be enough to win because I think that's much more reliant on the Missouri offense tomorrow.
What do you think the crowd split will be? Obviously, Missouri fans, SEC fans love going to Nashville, so Vanderbilt gets a lot of road fans, you know?
Right. I'm interested to see. It's less than it used. I mean, in past games, you know, I watched the LSU Vandy game with my wife, and I said, that place looks so different than it did last time I was there. Not just because, hey, it's bigger and they've spent all this money on the actual stadium, but, like, there was an actual atmosphere. Every time I've been to Vandy, you could count the fans, you know, and like you said, it was more than 50% visiting fans. Now, look, there's still more visiting fans than any other SEC stadium there, I'm sure, but I would assume it'll be I can't imagine this is going to be an even split at a Vanderbilt home game.
When you look at, just out of curiosity, Eli Drinkwitz and where he is with the organization, any fear there in Columbia that he might go swimming in bigger waters, Florida or some of these other schools?
Yeah, you know, I mean, what I've said is, look, only one person's opinion matters, and that's his. And he's not going to tell any of us what he thinks. And nothing's going to happen for 7 weeks. Like, let's get through this season and see where it goes. Now, my belief, based on what I've heard, is that people around here feel pretty confident that he's going to stick around and be Missouri's coach next year. But hey, obviously there's a lot left to play out. I think you can make a coherent argument in 2025 that Missouri is pretty close to as good a job as Florida. 10 years ago, nobody would have said that. Now, look, even if you say Florida's better, that gap is much, much closer than it's ever been. I mean, he has a team in its third year in a row with a chance at a college football playoff. Florida has had no chances at that. And he also, it's up and running. And if he takes a step back and he goes 7-5 next year, nobody's going to try to fire him. That is not true in Gainesville, Florida, as has been proven over and over and over since Urban Meyer left town. You know, I think he's got a pretty good setup here, and I think he knows it. But hey, we'll there'll probably be a couple nervous weeks after the end of the season.
Lastly, Gabe, do you think the Tigers get it done tomorrow?
Yeah, I picked them. I just think that, for all the talk of, hey, this game's between two teams that are never in this situation, Missouri's actually been in this situation some over the last few years and haven't always gotten it done by any means. But, this is the third time in a month Vanderbilt's playing their biggest game in 75 years. And I think that's really hard to just get up and continue to do it time after time after time. So I think Missouri can score enough. I think it's going to I think you got to get to 27 to win this game, but I picked Missouri 34-24.
Gabe, appreciate it, man. Enjoy Nashville. We'll check in if this thing keeps rolling in a couple weeks.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
There you go. Gabe DeArmond of PowerMizzou.com with us here on 96.5 The Fan as Missouri has a showdown tomorrow at 2:30 against number 10 Vanderbilt. And that's interesting. We were talking about the crowd and the setup there at Vandy.
It used to be like 70% road fans there for a long time. But if your team's good, more people from your team show up.
It's the same thing
Heisman candidate.
Indiana. It's the exact same thing.
Heisman candidate in Diego Pavia, top 10 team in the country. All this momentum. Yeah, the simplest way to get fan support, as we all know, I don't care what sport you're playing, is very simple. Win games. Whoa! It is not that complicated. It sounds simple. Really nice job. Not simple, but if you can start winning, people will come.
I mean, look at the tickets to, Lawrence is a really good example of that.
Sure.
Gold, you used to be able to get to even a game against Kansas State. In Lawrence, Kansas State, Gold, you could be in there for $30. You'd be sitting all by yourself on one half of Memorial Stadium, surrounded by purple nerds, still be empty seats. Now, what's the get-in price? What would it cost you to go? What would it cost you to go get in and watch some Kansas football this weekend? A few $100, I bet. I don't think it's cheap because if you
looks depending just to get in, $83.
Yeah. So it's
secondary market. Yeah, $93 with fees to get into the game.
And I think they've finally done Mizzou's doing the end zone completion and everything like that. They're still doing the construction. Vandy's been doing that the last 2 years. I think they've got it fully done. So, facility-wise,
it's nice
being able to get stuff, even for Missouri side of things, being able to get that construction and the upgrades with the suites and all that other stuff.
Gabe brought up what I think is a really interesting thing to follow over the next 5 years in college football, which before we had no debate on what it was a better job. For 40 years, if you would ask me, what's a better job, Florida football or Missouri football? Are we insane here? It is Florida football. That is a better job. I still think there's an advantages in Florida that he could get.
People will call me a hater. People will call me a hater.
Florida's a better job.
Florida to me is still a better job. People call me a hater, but that's fine.
But I think that Gabe is right that it is closer than it used to be.
The gap has closed.
Indiana is closer than it used to be to being a better job than some of these other schools. And there are reasons to stay in some of these jobs that did not exist before. So NIL has brought it closer. It has shrunk the gap that if, let's say Florida is a better job, that you might say what he just said. Well, it's a better job, but it's not so much better of a job that I'm leaving here and the comfort of the situation I have here and the job security I have here. I'm not leaving. It's not that much better. It's better, but it's not that much better.
It depends on the coach, too.
Yeah.
Every coach is going to operate differently. What is their family situation? Where are their ties at? All that comes into play. I don't think we can say it's the same for every single coach. It's going to vary. Sure. For some coaches, they have a goal in mind. They know exactly where they want to get to. And as soon as that particular job opens up, no matter how great things are going at their school, they're going to jump. Some coaches, They're fine being where they're at. They think they can continue to have sustained success. They feel like they got the NIL backing. They like their relationship with the AD. That's the other part. If you have an AD you don't like, then you're way more likely to jump ship. If you have a good relationship with your boss, then you're like, all right, I can stick around here for a couple more years.
I don't remember that happening at Kansas ever.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's just so it's interesting, but it's a massive game tomorrow in Nashville. All right, here in about 10 minutes or so on Cody and Gold, we will get back into the Chiefs and look around the NFL a little bit more. Some other games that impact the Chiefs, plus the random question of the day. But let's first get to...
Just because you love something doesn't mean you're good at it. But Alex Gold and betting on sports? Pretty good. It's time for Golden Locks.
All right, let's get to some of these. First, as you know, we update on our Circa Million. So myself, Cody, Rob, Dusty, Bink, Speck, we all have a Circa Million entry. It's the big contest out in Las Vegas.
1,500 people.
Yeah, 1,500 entries, quarterly prizes, millions of dollars on the line, all this. Last week, we got back on it, 4-1 week. 4-1 week,
all right.
So that was
After
good.
the 2-3 week, that was needed.
Yep, so we are tied for 135th. So let's get another little 4-1 week. I was looking at our spreadsheet because we all submit picks and then majority rules on that, and we kind of narrow it down, and we have to submit 5 picks by tomorrow morning. So looking at our sheet, it looks like there's consensus on 2 picks right now.
Okay, they are.
And it looks like the consensus is number 1 on San Francisco getting a 1.5 on the road at Houston.
Is it weird to feel better about that if Mac Jones starts? Because it just feels like first start back with Brock Purdy, something will go wrong.
I still would rather Brock Purdy start. The biggest thing last week we saw from the Niners is when Kittle's on the field, even if he's not getting numbers, it opens things up for Christian McCaffrey in the run game because he's a great blocker and all that. And the Texans, that offense. Last week we had Seattle -3 against the Texans. No sweat there. Nope. I think a similar thing here, and I'm getting a 1.5. So we all kind of like San Francisco. And then this one, it feels a little trappy, but Bears getting 6.5 against Baltimore. Lamar Jackson's going to play, it looks like. But I think they got other problems besides just having Lamar Jackson play.
Yeah, like defensive problems, massive defensive problems, and not as many weapons as they'd like there in Baltimore. I don't hate either of those. I'm not anti those. I'd say top 3%, by the way. Even if you factor in all the people we're tied with right now. Top 3% in Circa Millions.
Yeah, I need to be in the top 100, though.
I know,
we need to be there. We need to get in the top 100.
We're in a respectable spot.
We need to get in the top 100 so we can get into some money here
What's
a little bit.
What's our quarter ranking?
I don't think we're good enough to win the quarter prize.
I'm not saying that. You got to be top 4.
I'd have to look. Last night I did have the Chargers minus the 3. They obviously coasted. One other game I like this weekend, college football, Ole Miss, OU over 54.5. I think that's points all over the place. Another week where Oklahoma's quarterback is removed from the injury, like that. And then Mizzou fans will call me a hater. That's fine. I like Vandy minus 2.5 against Mizzou.
Earlier on the Twitch, one of our followers over there was asking, like, hey, I got a free bet. I won a Cody and Gold anytime parlay, and I told him you were on Kate anytime touchdown, and I told him you were on Kate Otten in our workplace one, so that was the pick I gave him.
It is National Tight End Day on Sunday. Now, it doesn't mean that all of a sudden every single tight end's going to score, but last year, 15 different tight ends did score. The year before, 7. The year before that, 5. And then 2021, 8. So I don't know if we're getting 15 of them, but, some coaches have a bit more of a,
soft spot in their heart for National Tight End Day.
So, I like Cade Otton of the Bucks to get a touchdown this weekend.
That's why I chose Jack Stoll.
Who? Honestly, never heard of that guy in my life. Who the hell is that?
He's a tight end for the Saints. But I think
start?
No.
Good luck.
I don't know. I honestly don't.
Honestly,
do you know who he is? Are you sure he plays football?
Yes, he has. Come on, man. Jack Stoll. He's got 5 catches this year.
Oh, okay. All right.
One of which is in the end zone.
Yeah.
So, honestly, we do a picks contest here at work, and I just choose the most extreme long shots.
You be the leader, I think, of it.
This would not be.
Cody's looking for his first hit.
A good suggestion
on that.
Well, that's because he's been picking.
I know. He's hoping for one.
His only touchdown, by the way, was in that game against Seattle, in which they got absolutely boat raced, 44 to 13.
So he was in garbage time. So you better hope that the Saints are getting throttled in this game, too.
Those are some golden locks. Some golden locks heading into the weekend. Of course, brought to you by Circa Sports. Sports betting the way it should be is coming soon to Missouri with Circa Sports. December 1st, again, is the day where you'll be able to bet in the state of Missouri legally on sports. Up next, some of the other games, non-betting wise, some of the other games we're intrigued by can impact the Chiefs in the AFC West, plus the random question of the day on Cody and Gold.
What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? It's Trent McDuffie. You're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays 10 to 2 on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Sitting outside in the rain, one of my favorite things to do on my screened-in covered porch, which you could have tonight. Well, not tonight, but you could have it built by calling tonight All Weather Decks. allweatherdecks.net. You can give them a call, or you can get on their website and see pictures of the projects they've done all throughout the city. 913-206-1974, where they can do those covered patios so you can extend your time sitting outside this time. You can get a fire pit built off your deck. You can get the deck and the fire pit. They'll handle all of your outdoor needs, whether it be wood or composite, outdoor patios and pergolas, or outdoor kitchens. All Weather Decks has been handling stuff in Kansas City for 14 years, locally owned and operated, with a showroom that you can see and pictures you can see of the works they've done throughout the city. Why not schedule a free estimate and start getting yourself that dream space you've been thinking about for a long time outside? Give them a call, 913-206-1974, or online at allweatherdecks.net.
Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue.
Around here, we've got each other's backs. When it comes to health insurance, we want that same kind of support. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City gets that. They're from around here too. Backed by the national strength of the Cross and Shield, they help you make confident choices, no matter where you are. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
It's NBA tip-off week, and FanDuel's your home for live betting. So even if you missed the start of the game or you want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to those fourth-quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. However you want to play, now's the perfect time to join because FanDuel's giving new customers $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. So just visit FanDuel.com/Alex to sign up today. Play your game with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Hey, it's Dusty Likens, and nothing says Thanksgiving like football. Verizon is giving you a chance to enter and win 2 tickets and travel for 2 to the Thanksgiving Day football game in Texas. Enter for a chance to win tickets to the Thanksgiving Day game in Texas. Don't miss your shot at the ultimate holiday football experience. Visit a local participating Verizon store in Kansas City to enter the Thanksgiving Day game sweepstakes.
No purchase necessary. 18 plus, 50 USDC. Start 10/17, end 11/16. Void where prohibited. For a list of participating stores and official rules, visit Verizon.com/Thanksgiving Game Day Sweeps KC.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Think Verizon, the best 5G network, is expensive? Think again. Bring in your AT&T or T-Mobile bill to a Verizon store today and we'll give you a better deal. Now, what to do with your unwanted bills? Maybe turn them into paper airplanes headed to See Ya Never AT&T and T-Mobile. Jokes aside, the best 5G network has you covered with the most ways to save on plans, streaming, and phone deals. So bring in your bill to your local Verizon store today and we'll give you a better deal. Rankings based on Root Metric True Score report dated 1H2025. Your results may vary. Must provide a postpaid consumer mobile bill dated within the past 45 days. Bill must be in the same name as the person redeeming the deal. Additional terms apply.
Chumba Casino brings non-stop fun straight to your screen. Anytime, anywhere. Explore hundreds of games like slots, blackjack, and instant scratch-style cards. Sign up to unlock your free welcome bonus and daily login bonuses. And enjoy your chance at exciting prizes without spending a thing. Just click, play, and enjoy the ride. Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in a state where it's legal to play.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 and monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Brought to you by Duke's Mayonnaise.
This is the Duke's country song. It's a song about the best mayo. It has a yellow lid, and its full name is Duke's Mayonnaise. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang.
Fast cars, barbecue, and live music. Bring the family for Burnout, a car show, Kid Zone, and Chris Jansen live Saturday night. It's Boost and Barbecue next Friday, October 24th and Saturday, October 25th at Flying H Drag Strip, Odessa. Kids 12 and under are free. Online at boostandbbq.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Somebody trying to claim I got tips from the FBI yesterday. That's why I said Jack stole. They told me. They told me, you know.
I will say, if he does score a touchdown.
None of these long shots are ever going to hit for me, but that's what makes them fun. On the in-house one, right? This is my hard-earned dollars. Trying to see if I can squeeze out a Jack stole bet. A little more looseness. Who's in first?
Are you going to be locked into the Saints? JT is in first. I am in second, and then I think Bake's in third.
Respectable, Drew.
Yeah, we have an in office. You pick an anytime touchdown, and it goes all year. And for the most part, Cody and I decided we're just taking long shots every week. Now, the last 2 weeks I haven't, and of course now it's hit.
What's crazy is if I hit, I will be in first place. That's how quickly it takes. That's how quickly it moves.
Yeah, pretty soon though, you're about to be in a category where you'll be too far behind that, even if you had a 12-1.
I'll be in like fifth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, it's a gift card on the line. It's not actual money involved. So
you know what?
That's all
Give
this
me
contest
CeeDee Lamb
is.
this weekend.
I'm here to win.
You're on CeeDee Lamb?
Yep.
Okay. Coming up in 8 minutes, we're going to get to the random question of the day. We are 25 minutes away from a little Fan Club Friday brought to you by Jay Rieger & Co. We'll have Sarah from Jay Rieger joining us in studio. We'll have Miss Dugan, who is a middle school teacher in the area that happens to have a massive social media following as well for some of her very creative and hilarious videos that she puts out on Instagram and TikTok. So we'll have some fun talking football. We'll talk life. We'll talk Halloween is a week from today as well. A lot to get into. And then what's the cocktail of the day?
Oh, guy, I got to pull it up. Sorry. I've already pre-mixed
You ready to make this thing?
It's called Tiger's Head.
Tiger's Head.
Oh, man, it's a good sign for Vandy.
That bodes well for Missouri, yeah.
So bourbon, lemon juice, simple syrup, and then there's one more ingredient. Let me remember in my brain when I made it earlier. Falernum, which is not one it's a Caribbean style, or it's like it's made from there. It's like ginger and almond and lime. It's like a flavored liqueur.
Perfect. So that'll be fun.
That's
1
the
o'clock
cocktail.
hour today.
Although I'm told Miss Dugan's not a big whiskey drinker, so she'll be enjoying a nice canned cocktail from Jay.
Hey, those Electric Park cocktails are very good.
Very much so. So she'll be enjoying that instead.
All right, let's get back into the NFL this weekend. Today's a unique day because Monday will be all game day stuff. We'll be talking Chiefs Commanders, and so we get a chance to step back and look at the rest of the slate a little bit more on a Friday than we typically would. And I'm really fascinated to see what the Bills look like. out of the bye, yeah, they're playing Carolina. I get it. Carolina has 4 wins. Andy Dalton's going to start at quarterback. Not Bryce Young, who's dealing with he's listed as doubtful. He's dealing with a knee injury.
It kind of helps him. It kind of feels
I think
like,
so.
I don't know, man. Bryce Young just looks so
For
off
this
still.
game, I think it does. The Bills, yes, they have Josh Allen. He's incredible. He's going to do his thing. James Cook is the real deal as well. Their defense, though, has looked terrible all year. They have allowed everybody to be in a game with them just about. Now they're coming off a bye. And so I want to watch Buffalo. Did they fix anything defensively? They got some guys banged up still. I saw their injury report a little bit earlier today.
3 guys that are already out.
We know the Chiefs have them after this week as well, so that's why I'm keyed in on it. But does the Bills' defense look better? If it does, then, okay, we can have a different conversation. If Andy Dalton, even if they lose, if Andy Dalton's slinging around and the Panthers are able to run the ball, because Andy Dalton will probably be asked to be a game manager more than anything, if they're in this game late against Buffalo, then I'll feel even better about the belief that the Bills are going to be a team where anybody can beat them on any given day, truly, not just like the cliche stuff people say the time.
The 2 games I want to see the most this weekend, one is Buffalo against Carolina. And I know that sounds sacrilege, again, for the obvious reasons you mentioned there. Buffalo is currently 17th in points per game on defense. If you're asking yourself, why does this Buffalo team feel different than any other? Go through year by year and look under Sean McDermott and Josh Allen where the Bills' defense ranks points per game. Last year was a down year for them, and they were 10 spots higher. In 2023, they were the 3rd-ranked defense. In 2022, they were the 2nd-ranked defense. In 2021, top 5 again, gold. So this is a defense or team that has largely kept itself alive because of defense. And so if you look at last year's Bills team, which admittedly, in my opinion, did not feel nearly as dominant as the previous year's Bills teams, well, their defense wasn't as good. And now it's even worse. Now they've slid even further down the chain on here. And so unless they solved some of their problems in the bye week, that one, I'll be honest, the other one is Broncos at Dallas. This division is really interesting. And the Broncos don't have some end of the world, like their schedule's not like uber tough, right? Not that anybody's is. They got plenty of road games left and divisional games, so like they can lose as many as anybody. I can't figure out Denver. I'm having a tough time with them because they've got the most wins in the division. They're at first place. They've earned it. They have played back-to-back games on New York-based teams, both of which they've won, both of which they definitely could have lost, and they don't look really good, but they also beat Philly, who I think is a good football team. Maybe not a perfect team, but that's a good win. Beat the hell out of... So they've won 4 in a row, and the only one that I'm really impressed by is the win against Philly. And so, like, I just don't know where they are. I don't know where Denver is. And so I kind of want to just... And they should have beaten Indianapolis, the best team in the AFC. And so I obviously think they're good, but how good? Dallas feels like a team that could trip them up. I'm just kind of... That game intrigues me a lot.
I think Denver wins, but yes, I want to see how they handle the emotional win from last week. I told you, I actually think a win like that, coming down 19, ends up winning 33 points or whatever it was in the fourth quarter, I think that parlays you into a long stretch of to me, where they're going to get on a roll. Like I expect the Broncos to start rattling off multiple wins heading into the Chiefs game in whenever that is, 3 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now. That's Thanksgiving, isn't it? Or not Thanksgiving, the week before Thanksgiving, something like that. So I think that's what's about to happen for the Broncos. I like them quite a bit, actually, against Dallas.
So here's the Buffalo game, and back on that for a minute. And maybe you're right. I think they're a better team than Dallas. That's why I want to watch the game, right? Some of these things are like tests for what my eyes can't compute for the rest of it.
Yeah.
As pointed out by ZM Lopez over on Twitch, the Bills have had the weakest strength of schedule so far in the league.
Yeah, them and the Patriots.
275, the combined winning percentage of the teams they've faced. So they're 4-2. We've pointed this out. Their 4 wins are against teams who have a combined 3 wins. It's not exactly murderer's row. But they also, I give them more platitude than I do Denver in a lot of ways, because I've watched them go to the AFC Championship game, and I've watched them win their division a bunch and have all this success, Gold, and be a team that, contributes regularly. And so I don't fear, I guess I fear more what they could just open in that regard versus the rest of it. And so I am paying close attention to that. It's always nice to have a Sunday where you can just freely watch, because I want to watch the Ravens too. I want to see if they look good when they are.
Great red zone day.
Very interested in a Ravens-Bears game.
Great red zone day. I'm planning on just sitting around watching football all day. Got some friends and stuff coming to the town, as we talked about, for the Commanders game, and so Probably just going to go somewhere. I did tell them because they want to be on the Kansas side only because they want to be able to
wager.
They want to wager. So I said, well, then you're a month too early because in December you'll be able to be anywhere in the metro area and do that if that's
so
what
you guys
want to do.
Go to the sports book at Hollywood? What do you
I don't know if we're doing it if they want to do sports book or they just want to be on a bar or whatever on the Kansas side. And so that'll be Sunday. But
your city's on a state line. You got lots of choices.
Yeah, that's what I said. They're like, well, how far we're staying because they're staying near the plaza. They're like, well, how far is it for us to get to Kansas? I go, like 8 minutes. From the plaza, you're like, if that, maybe 5 minutes actually. Get to Fairway from the plaza very quickly. You know what I mean? So
you guys will find a spot to watch the game.
Yeah,
that I'm not
they won't have
about.
a problem. But you're right about the Ravens too. You know that game. I think a lot of people are
looking.
They
lose, they're done.
1-6.
They're done.
We
don't care anymore.
But if they win and Lamar looks great and the defense shows signs of improvement, suddenly everybody's like, okay, maybe I can see a run. It's amazing how quickly it can shift. But at some point, they have to win games, and that point is now. They are lucky, in my opinion, to get to 9 wins when this thing is all done.
Yeah, and they still have to have a lot of things go their way. But if they lose, it doesn't matter. There is no solution or math that allows them to be a playoff team. They're just going to have to not be a playoff team, which happens when you lose your starting quarterback from time to time. And it probably didn't come in a great year. Gold, if they had lost Lamar Jackson, and they've lost Lamar Jackson for games before, if they had lost Lamar Jackson in a year in which their defense was the normal Ravens defense, they're probably right now not 1-5, but 2-3, or 3-3, or 2-4. They find extra wins, but because Lamar Jackson's hurt and their defense reeks, well then, what are they supposed to do? They weren't going to make that work magically. That just creates a completely different problem. So I'm not overly worried about it at the moment.
Random question.
Random question today brought to you by Kansas City Urology Care at KCUC. Remember, you see the best in KC. Visit kcurology.com today. For you, Gold. For you, Drew. Text line 913-586-7965. Of course, you can always watch the show on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. Like we've got our fan club guests coming up. You can watch them over on the video stream if you want. Coming up in about 15 minutes from now. Question I have today is about something that took place in the city. Today, the streetcar expansion made it all the way to UMKC. Obviously, 2026 is a projected timeline to get it the rest of the way to the river area, where they're hoping to have that in place before the World Cup, and it should be in place before the World Cup to help people get to and from places as it relates to that. So the question I have for you today, though, is if you could add 2 stops to the streetcar and take it anywhere in the city, Kansas or Missouri side, don't care. Where would you like the streetcar to go next? Let's just say the world is open and you can dream any imaginable area in which you want to do it. What are the 2 places you're taking the streetcar to? Yeah,
I mean, the easy answer, since I don't have to worry about the financial implications, which would be massive for this, and that's why it'll never happen, it's obviously to the airport. But financially, that'll never happen.
So the airport's 1?
Yeah.
Where's 2?
No, there's not
your house?
Stop. Sure.
You just want it straight to your apartment?
South Overland Park. Sure.
So you want to be able to get on it outside your house and take that. But you can, occasionally we don't have to pay for parking when we go up to the airport.
Yeah,
so
I'm going
take your car,
a week from Wednesday. I'll be doing that. But it'd be nice if I could just take a streetcar up there or a
if
light
you can park for free or the streetcar. You take the streetcar?
Yes.
Okay.
But again, I recognize for those freaking out that are driving, it ain't happening because the financial cost to extend the streetcar to the airport doesn't make any sense.
I would say so because I miss living in that area. Because houses. I would take one easy route. I'd add a stop to Waldo. Just get me from Brookside the rest of the way. Just take that thing the rest of the way up on the trolley track trail where it used to be anyway, and get my ass to the part of town I used to live in and like going to, because it's already coming to the riverfront, which means I'm only like an 8-minute drive for a streetcar the rest of the way down to Waldo. Perfect. For me, I can still let's say like my wife and I used to go eat at like a restaurant there called Bella Napoli. But you're telling, I want to drink some wine or have a cocktail. I don't want to drive. I don't want to take a $78 Uber to get there. If you're telling me I can get on the streetcar in a few minutes, take it the rest of the way to Waldo, I'm in.
Yeah, it's airport or
airport's pretty high
wherever you think the stadiums are. How about that? So like right now it's the complex, But if you think one team is ending up in Overland Park and one is going to, staying there, then that's
the dream scenario. Yeah. Oh, God, please.
Again, we're ignoring the financial implications. What about you, Drew?
No, this is a hypothetical.
Yeah.
This isn't a realistic conversation.
I mean, the stadium is the obvious one, I think, for me, just because of the parking costs. So, like, you tell me I get to skip parking and just you drop me off half a mile from the stadium and I walk there, sign me up. I think the airport is also another really good one, but I'm going to say just
none of us travel enough for like the airport to be one that I'm I'm not cashing in the airport. I'll just get there.
Yeah, I'm going to say I'll just say downtown. Just give me because from Legends, from where I live, I don't know how far the streetcar extends, but I mean, if it came out to Legends and you can get me downtown or to Power and Light,
everybody's just choosing their own places.
Yeah, someone said, curious, why do you say it doesn't make financial sense? I mean, I don't have the exact dollar amount in front of you, but I believe at one point they said it was going to be like $400 million or something like to expand it to the airport, another $400 million. And I think I'm way off on that too. Like I think the financial cost, which has gone up every single year, or will go up every single year. Right now, they just expanded it with $351 million. That's for the current one. The actual cost to go to the airport
probably more than that, I would guess.
Way more. By the way, the $351 million was just for 3.5 miles.
Mm-hmm. It's expensive.
So
by the way,
how many
some
miles?
Other countries are better at building mass transit for less
Well, that's
money.
a whole different conversation.
We're not the best at building mass transit for affordability, even though it should be.
Yeah, but I mean that's the one thing. Say what you will about bigger cities, and everybody has their own gripes, but. It is awesome that I can land, pick any city, most major cities, Chicago or anywhere else.
Yeah, and get the L.
Yeah.
I like being able to occasionally take public transit. Doesn't mean you have to do it all the time, but the fact it'll be, Gold, I can get from Riverfront to where I teach at UMKC as of next year, right? That's pretty good. That gets me pretty far. That means I can get South Plaza.
Will you use it?
To go to UMKC, I'm usually coming from here.
Fair enough.
So probably not. But will I take it from Riverfront if we're going down to the plaza for food or if we're doing... Yeah, I might. There's no reason why. If it makes sense for what I'm doing, I am interested. I used to take in... I don't know if this really matters. When I was working here early, I used to ride my bike and take the bus pretty much everywhere I went for about a 4-year time period when I was attending UMKC. I rode my bike to the Tivoli and I rode it to Webster House at times. And I took both the bus system, the MAX, which went from Waldo all the way down to Webster House. And I used to take or ride my bike down the trolley track tail to the plaza when I worked at Seasons or back and forth. So I've used public transit in the city a decent amount.
Yeah.
If you're telling me it's easier and better, hell yeah. Because the bus system in the city stinks.
It does. And obviously our public transportation system in general has a long ways to go. But they're trying to make some improvements before the World Cup. And the streetcar Main Street extension is part of that.
I think the mayor will be on the afternoon show.
I believe
today,
Mayor Lucas will be on with Carrington. I'm sure they will ask him about the stadium stuff as well. So you want to listen, I don't know what hour, I'll be honest, but from 2 to 6.
Text line's maybe trying to get in my class from the 816. Cody, what do you teach? Other than the lessons I teach on this show?
Yeah.
Every Thursday. How did
lessons.
So at UMKC I teach radio and television performance and a podcasting course. What was yesterday's lesson on from Jay Binkley?
Well, Jay filled in for you.
Bink rant.
We said, hey, you're substituting for Professor Tapp. And we said, non-sports lesson, please.
Okay.
And his was him complaining about Halloween and saying that adults are ruining it and that adults shouldn't dress up and have fun around Halloween.
Why are we ruining it?
Because what I just...
Because it's a kid's holiday.
That's what he said, which I said, you're out of your mind. I go, just have some fun, live a little,
So he thought no. Did he have some evidence to back up the ruining of it, or just mostly?
He doesn't like seeing everybody post. He didn't like
people
people posting on Instagram their photos and all this.
He was saying also the whole couples dressing up together is something that he doesn't care for at all.
Oh, he's anti the couple.
And then it got into a whole conversation. Bink obviously is not married. He's been, and he's openly discussed his divorce or whatever and stuff on the air. And some people, it turned into Bink just hates happiness and marriage.
It wasn't even the Halloween thing, wasn't it? Where he was talking about, it was the Joe Flacco thing. Bink would be in heaven just the same as Joe Flacco would be sitting alone in a bar because, as he said, I believe, quote, the wife's not nagging you, is what Bink said.
So that isn't my take on it, but I will say the older and older I get, the more I enjoy an activity in which
you're alone.
No other people are involved. Yes. As in, I don't mind sitting at a bar top at a restaurant by myself. I don't mind going to a movie by myself. I don't mind any of those things. And maybe it's because my kids are just loud. and my house is loud, and everything that exists. Like I went on that field trip yesterday. It is an assault on the senses. I don't even blame the guy for being.
I was riding on the school bus.
I didn't ride. They
you
don't let you.
You didn't have to do that.
They don't let you do that anymore. You got to just meet him there. You go check into the school.
That's smart.
Really?
That's
get
smart.
a sticker. Oh hell no! It's a safety thing. They don't let me get on the bus. I just got to drive out there and meet him there, which is what we did, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Cody. There are certain things that I enjoy doing by myself, more like golfing. I don't mind golfing with other people. I actually prefer to golf by myself.
You enjoy it better just walking the course on your own?
It's like that silent time, you know?
I think I would
play
quit.
some music.
If I had to golf by myself, I'd get to like hole 13, and if it was going bad, I'd be like, well,
Enjoy nature.
Yeah,
put
golfing
these
by
clubs
yourself.
in the bag and call it a day.
Enjoy nature.
I guess it's for some people they view it as no different. I would feel like golfing by myself would be very boring.
Well, I don't know. Like sports activities, I don't want to do, but like I wouldn't go to a bowling alley and just like bowl by myself.
Correct. I agree. I wouldn't do that either.
So like, I think you gotta be good at the sport in order for that to be that.
Text line says Bink told all the adults yesterday, this is true, that Halloween's for kids, and then he proceeded to call them all little bastards. That's what Bink said on the show yesterday.
I should have saved it. I didn't save the.
Bink did say that.
I didn't save a drop. He called them that. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Interesting. That's
You knew he was going to have a controversial lesson.
Yeah, but I don't feel like I should have given him more instructions. This doesn't feel like he taught you anything at all. He just lectured the class.
Well, he definitely was a lecture. Yeah.
I do wonder if we had an actual lesson planned, if we would have been better off learning something if we just told Bink to just teach us about MAC football, or the Sun Belt.
I told him it could not be sports. That's the whole point. It's not supposed to be sports.
You didn't want to learn about that.
Well, that's where his Bink.
He could have taught you to change your oil or something.
We got to go out in the parking lot?
Does Bink come
He
across?
could describe it. There could be visual aids. Binkley definitely used to change his own oil. I don't know if he does now, but I guarantee you there was a time.
Probably.
Well, let me
in
text
which
him right
Binkley
now. I'm
changed
sure
his own
he'll.
oil.
He's probably
Honestly,
listening right now.
Anymore,
let me
when changing
text
your own
him.
oil, the cost isn't worth it. It's like it's not that much more for me to pay somebody else to do it. And I don't want to get rid of the oil, so I guarantee you. Could have taught you to change a tire. He could have taught you some stuff, Maybe change an electrical outlet. He could have just done some handyman stuff. But instead, he lectured you.
Bink comes across as a handyman.
Yeah, I guarantee you, Bink used to fix some stuff around his house. Don't you think?
Yeah, probably so.
Honestly, it'd be kind of weird if he
so.
didn't. If it turns out he was just like Bink's been hiring TaskRabbit this whole time. This doesn't sound.
I mean, that comes in handy.
No, but I'm saying that doesn't seem like Bink.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying people can't use that service. I'm saying that doesn't seem like something Jay Binkley would do. That's or would have done.
Bink said it's been years, but yes, he did used to change his own oil.
There you go.
Shout out to Bink.
So he could have taught you that.
Yeah, correct.
Instead, he took it as an opportunity to bury you all. You know what? In fairness, there are teachers like that. So, it's a real mixed bag. Teachers. We're going to have a teacher in the next, 10 minutes.
Coming up during Fan
Bink
Club
said
Friday.
He did substitute teach before, Cody. He actually did.
Yeah.
When he was
said
21, I think.
He gave us an example that said many, many years ago, he substitute taught, and some poor kid came up, and hair was soaking wet, and it turns out he got like a swirly, and Bink's like, I was about to laugh. And imagine Bink handling that situation.
The worst substitute for that moment.
He said, I had to put my smirk away and act like I was all mad. Is what
Bink might have been holding his feet.
Oh, jeez. As the substitute teacher?
Kid was in a Halloween costume, and Binkley was like, let's get this kid.
He was encouraging the behavior.
Reminder, thinking of Halloween, next Friday, we're going to be out at Community America Credit Union for the Red Friday tailgate, which is also going to be a chance for you to wear whatever you want for Halloween, and it'll be the Blue Springs location. We'll be out there. I know they have two. We'll get the exact address for you next
1800
week.
South Outer Road.
There we go.
I have no idea why I have that memorized, but I
There
did.
you go. There you go. We'll be out there next Friday for another Red Friday tailgate. Looking forward to that. Up next, it is a Fan Club Friday brought to you by Jay Rieger & Co. We will have Sarah from Jay Rieger in studio. We'll have some drinks. We'll talk some of the things we discussed about already, and we will have Miss Dugan, who is very, very popular on social media, happens to be a middle school teacher in the area as well. That's coming up next.
This is Cody and Gold on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
It's a Red Friday on 96.5 The Fan and the other place, especially with these great game day specials. 8 wings and a basket of tots for $12 plus $4 domestic OP cups. The other place, the next best thing to being at the game.
Tomorrow, you'll hear Kansas State football in place of the John Clay Wolf Show. But don't forget, you can still catch the show live on the John Clay Wolf YouTube channel. Sponsored by Give Me the VIN, America's best car buyer.
Hey, college football fans, it's time to lock in on those Saturday showdowns. Take your excitement to the next level with a Parlay Boost token from BetMGM. Log into your BetMGM account to receive your token. Then add any college football parlay to your bet slip and apply the token. Just make sure to bet up to the minimum stake, odds, and legs specified on the token. If your boosted parlay hits, you'll score a bigger payout. Every play can change the game, so don't settle for ordinary this season. Feeling good about your college football parlay? Claim your Parlay Boost token and make this season unforgettable. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 1 to 7 days. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Things are getting spooky in South Kansas City, but the deals at Rob Side Ford, they're scary good. Rob Side is with me. Hey, Rob, what's haunting the lot this month?
No tricks, just treats. From Broncos to Explorers to F-150s and commercial vehicles, we've got the inventory, the selection, and the lowest prices in Kansas City.
And no creepy sales tactics, just non-commissioned staff and real value.
Exactly. And while we're on the scary stuff, Kevin, your brisket from last weekend still haunts me.
Okay, dry rub shouldn't actually mean dry.
But here's the real flavor. KC's only top-rated Ford dealer on Google, 4.8 stars with nearly 3,000 reviews. Voted best car dealership in KC by Kansas City Magazine.
If you want simple, upfront, and easy, Rob Side Ford is the treat you've been looking for. Visit 135th and State Line and buy right with Rob Site.
Rob Site Ford, ROBSIGHT.com. And Kevin, leave the cooking to us this Halloween.
Thank you, KC, for voting Century Roofing the best roofing company in the Metro in the Star's 2025 KC Favorites competition. After 35 years, we're giving back to you by extending our free material upgrade sale through the end of the year. Get a free upgrade to impact-resistant shingles with any roof replacement for better protection and possible insurance savings. Trust the best, Century Roofing. Visit CenturyRoofingKC.com for your free estimate today.
Century Roofing. Trust the pillars of strength.
Century Roofing, we've got you covered, KC.
Engines rumble, tires smoke, and the barbecue's fired up with Boost and Barbecue. This Friday and Saturday at Flying H Drag Strip in Odessa. See the fastest streetcars in the world battle it out on the strip, plus burnouts. A huge barbecue competition, car show, and kids zone. Kids 12 and under get in free. Then Saturday night, country star Chris Jansen takes the stage live. It's 2 full days of racing, music, and mouth-watering fun you won't want to miss. Get your tickets now at boostandbarbecue.com.
Around here, we've got each other's backs. When it comes to health insurance, we want that same kind of support. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City gets that. They're from around here too. Backed by the national strength of the Cross and Shield, they help you make confident choices, no matter where you are. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
Are you tired of online threats? Then get an antivirus. It's the only online protection you will ever need.
Disclaimer: an antivirus is just half protection online. It will not protect you from snoopers or encrypt your traffic. So get better online protection with NordVPN. NordVPN will encrypt your traffic, protect you from malware and phishing, and stop annoying ads. Save 77% on NordVPN and get 3 extra months.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
Think Verizon, the best 5G network, is expensive? Think again. Bring in your AT&T or T-Mobile bill to a Verizon store today and we'll give you a better deal. Now, what to do with your unwanted bills? Maybe turn them into paper airplanes headed to See Ya Never AT&T and T-Mobile. Jokes aside, the best 5G network has you covered with the most ways to save on plans, streaming, and phone deals. So bring in your bill to your local Verizon store today and we'll give you a better deal. Rankings based on root metric true score report dated 1H 2025. Your results may vary. Must provide a postpaid consumer mobile bill dated within the past 45 days. Bill must be in the same name as the person redeeming the deal. Additional terms apply.
Chumba Casino brings non-stop fun straight to your screen. Anytime, anywhere. Explore hundreds of games like slots, blackjack, and instant scratch-style cards. Sign up to unlock your free welcome bonus and daily login bonuses. And enjoy your chance at exciting prizes without spending a thing. Just click, play, and enjoy the ride. Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in a state where it's legal to play.
Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Discover the benefit of blue.
Join me, Drew Nixon, this weekend, Saturday the 25th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at T-Mobile at the Legends in KCK to celebrate and meet your local first responders. It's a free event with food, games, giveaways, and exclusive offers. See you there.
Listen to the Chiefs and Commanders on Monday night with pregame starting at 4, kickoff at 7:15 with Mitch, Danon, and Kling right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City in Odyssey Sports Station. Welcome into the Fan Club.
Step 1, we buy into this club. Step 2, we roll over to the club, either in your Mercedes-Benz or my pre-owned Acura Legend.
It's not as much as a club as it is a couple middle-aged dudes in sweatshirts talking about sports.
Bounce, 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 bounce. Now all the ladies saying bounce, 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 bounce.
But you get the gist. Here's Cody Tapp and Alex Gold.
It is a Fan Club Friday here on 96.5 The Fan. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp with you. Drew Nixon producing the show. Fan Club brought to you by Jay Rieger & Co. And we've got two newcomers to the Fan Club. We're really excited about this today. We don't always have two guests at the same time, so more people for the club, the better. We've got
That's normally how clubs work.
Usually, yeah. You know, we don't have the light strobe. We don't have bottle service or anything like that today. But we do have some amazing cocktails thanks to Jay Rieger & Co. We've got Sarah James, Director of Marketing over at Jay Rieger & Co. We've got Miss Dugan, who is a middle school teacher in the Kansas City area as well. And we'll get into your social media because that's really, people are asking, like, we got a bunch of teachers texting in, like, now how do I get invited? I will say, do you all have 400,000 followers on Instagram or on TikTok? No. So that would be the answer. And so we'll get into all that as well. But what's the drink that we have today?
Tiger's Head.
Okay.
So bourbon, lemon juice, simple syrup, so just sugar water, and then falernum, which is like a spiced, just like any other spice liqueur, kind of gingery, a little bit of spice to it,
very good.
and then mint for the garnish. So
you were particular on the garnish. You wanted to make sure we
has it in the photo. Like it's supposed to be, drinks are supposed to be complete. Sarah can speak to this from Rieger.
Yes, but sometimes it just gets in the way.
Fair enough. Just give me the drink, all right?
Just give me the beverage.
Right. Well, thank both of you for coming in studio. Sarah, I wanted to start with you. We've had some fun with these different cocktails every single week, and we enjoy going out to Jay Rieger. You also have a pretty cool event coming up tomorrow, right?
Yes, tomorrow is our Terror at Electric Park. It's our big Halloween event. This will be the fourth year doing it. The rain and cold has put a slight kibosh on the outside components, but we've moved everything inside. Giant ball pit, slime. There will be slime. There's going to be slime.
Now explain how this is working with the slime. I'm intrigued now.
Well, first of all, slime is not just for kids. I would like everybody to know that. Slime is for everyone. It is the most stress reducing thing you can ever do is just put your hands. You remember
I gotta say, as a teacher, I feel like she's got to feel the opposite about this.
Well, I don't want to touch the slime, but I want to watch those ASMR slime videos after a day of teaching. But if the slime is in my face, that's not for me. No, thank you.
Well,
so would I enjoy it at this?
You will enjoy it.
No kids, or will kids be around?
Well, this is a 21 and older party.
So no kids around, I'll take the slime.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take the slime.
There you go.
There is a new experience coming to Kansas City. It's
all right.
very cool.
The Rainbow Slime Company?
Rainbow Slime.
What is this? How do you know? This
believe it or not.
Is it because of the kids?
I went to 816 Day at Rieger.
Yay!
My kids were there, and they were talking about how they're going to have like a river of slime for kids to walk in and stuff.
River of slime.
That's the way they put it, not me. So that's the
slime
reason why.
pods, river of slime. Kids will be able, and adults, because we will be having 21 and older nights. Aaron, Carly, Natalie, and Ariel. I hope you're okay with that because I just declared it on the radio.
It's decided.
It's decided. But yeah, so they're going to be at the party tomorrow, and there's going to be slime with like eyeballs and bones that you can like get your hands in.
Okay, that's fun.
That
right?
does sound
That's
fun.
This is cool.
I'm just
Yeah.
imagining like slime in my hair. Is it that kind of slime? I'm imagining
Well,
like
this
it's
isn't
not like the
Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon.
No.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, that's
Am I gonna
kind of.
get slimed?
I was envisioning that as well.
No, like the new, like they come in, like all the kids are super into them,
It's
obviously.
like putty.
Yeah.
It's like
But yeah,
kind of it's.
they
Well,
come in
and
different textures depending
and
on like the
smells.
style of slime
And the
it
smells
is.
are fascinating. Like they had one at 816 Day that was strawberry, and it didn't smell like Paul Hollywood would say. It's too much essence. It's sickly sweet. If anyone watches Bake Off.
I do,
Okay,
obviously.
great. Oh, my new best friend. But
Yes.
this was like a natural strawberry smell. And it like stayed on my hands. And for the rest of the day, I just felt like I was in a strawberry garden. And it was great. All because I played with slime.
So, Jay, where
So
can
I'm
they,
really hyping up the slime for
they
the
can
party
still,
tomorrow.
that's the most important
Most
thing.
important part.
Forget all the whiskey, gin, and vodka. There'll be slime.
There will be slime.
At Rieger tomorrow.
Yeah.
The
Slime.
event, what time is the event? Sorry, start tomorrow, and they can go to Jay Rieger's website to get tickets. Still?
Yes. So party starts tomorrow at 8, 8 to midnight. You can go to our website, jriegerco.com, to get tickets. We are sold out of our VIP experiences, so that's the all-inclusive. But I still have general admission. It's $40. You get a drink ticket when you come in. We have food stations to buy food, carnival games that are ginormous and really, really, really cool. There's one called Alien Attack. So you get to kill aliens, which I
Nice.
think is really cool. Yeah. And then we have a tarot card reader. We have a soul reader where this
Read my aura?
he will so he like you sit in front of him and he reads your aura and then he draws it. And then
We need to get him in studio.
He's the coolest thing. He draws it and then he will decipher it and explain your aura and your soul and how this reads and all these different things.
We should have had him
Very
in for this
cool.
part.
We
I
have
wanna
had
know
a
what my aura
We did
is.
have a psychic.
we have had a psychic on the show before, and that was quite the 20 minutes.
Dwayne Tracy Cherry. What was his name?
I think you're close.
Tracy Chapman? That's what I
No,
thought
it
you
was
were
right
gonna
around the
say.
time they were there. I will say, Ms. Dugan, one of the very first texts in here was, it says, "Oh, finally a real teacher in studio." They accused me of being a fake teacher because I teach adjunct 2 classes, and they claim that I don't. My own producer said, "Well, you're kind of a teacher," almost
Yeah.
like it's dismissive.
We don't
I said
count.
it counts.
We don't count Cody teaching.
You're a
as
full-time
real
teacher.
thing.
Does it count if I teach part-time? Wow,
Yes.
that's a no.
Yes.
Damn.
There we go.
Listen, have you ever taught full time?
No.
It's just like I respect it and I thank you, but like you
This is a
just
no for
don't
sure.
get the eye bags under my eyes right now. Like you just don't understand, you know?
But couldn't you also say though that I'm assuming if you're adjunct, you're teaching adults?
Yeah, college-age kids.
Yeah, I mean, this poor girl is
You've got
molding
people-
young minds.
Look, I don't know any of your
Thank
students
you.
individually.
You're welcome.
Middle school is genuinely the worst time of anyone's life.
What
Like-
grade exactly?
Now I didn't want to correct you on air. I'm actually high school now.
Oh,
yeah.
you can correct
I'm
me
so
on
sorry.
air.
Are you terrified?
stepped up.
So it's okay. Hear me out. So I taught fifth. I never taught 5th grade. What am I doing? For 5 years, I taught 7th and 8th grade, and I started my career doing that.
Bless you.
And I eventually was like, I think it's time for a change, and I loved it. And you're right, middle school is probably the worst time of your life. It's probably, but the thing that always made me feel better as a teacher was like, they're not going to remember this time in their life anyway. They're going to remember like that embarrassing moment that they had, and they're not really going to remember that narrative that they wrote in Miss Dugan's English class. You know, they're going to remember.
You think you're safe from like permanent scarring of a
I
student?
hope so, but unfortunately, I'm not safe from the permanent scarring from them. But no, I actually really loved middle school, but I also really love high school. I love where I'm at right now.
What do you like
So,
better about it? Why do you like what thing do you like better? Not all of it, obviously. What's better about high school than middle school?
I think most teachers would understand this. Every grade, it's a balancing scale. Every grade that you move to, you're going to give something up but you're going to gain something. So like, I really miss, honestly, the silly and goofiness of middle school. I kind of miss how awkward they are and like getting to experience that. But they're a lot more independent in high school. So a little bit of that, I've gotten, like, that's a little easier. But also, they kind of don't want to talk to me in high school.
There's so many
and
attitudes.
So you're also like, hey guys, do you like me? Like in middle school, they'll just tell you. But in high school, they're just like stare at you. And you're like, okay, sick. Like, I'm just going to talk to myself.
Registering?
Yeah, I don't know. They're just like looking at me and I'm like, I think they're just thinking about like their football highlights or something. Like that's all that they're really worried about. And so you just kind of, it's a give and a take, you know? I don't know. You find something new in each grade.
How did you start the social media, I guess, account that you have now where it's, correct me if I'm wrong, the latest number, I think it's close to 400,000 or something?
Yeah, we're really close on TikTok to 400,000. We're really close. We're inching there. But Instagram, we're there. Okay, this is crazy. So I've been doing it probably a year and a half. Okay. And so those teachers that are like, how do I get on there?
That's it?
It's luck. It is. People
that
are like,
quickly to get to 400,000?
Oh my God, it's crazy. And here's what happened. I had decided I'm going to move to high school. And I cannot, people are always like getting all up in a tizzy about the whole, have you guys seen my videos about things my students have said?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. They're the best.
Everyone thinks that I coined that. Let me tell you right now, I did not coin that. Miss Dugan did not start that trend. I saw someone else do it and I was like, wow, the things I have that my students have said to me. And I didn't have a single follower. I didn't follow anyone. I just like had TikTok to like watch videos. And I'm not kidding. I posted it, not one hashtag. Within a day, I had 1 million views. What? That's just luck. That's like the algorithm was like, you know what, come on in today.
You know what? Please.
You know what? We're going to invite you in because people are always like, can you give me advice on how to grow a following? I'm like, I don't know. If you know, you tell me because I don't know. It's just luck. So that's how that happened.
Now, do your students...
also your personality. I mean, your personality and how you engage with your followers is just, you're so charismatic. You just draw everybody in. You're warm. You're welcoming.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Actually,
this is such a nice moment. This is an unusually nice moment.
And I think that's part of it. Yes, it's the luck, but it's also the person behind. I mean, I can't do that.
Yeah. It is interesting because I actually have like met people that saw me online and then they'll meet me in real life and they'll be like, oh, it's kind of a relief to see you're just the same person. And I'm like, well, I'm glad you say that because I want to be. And I hope I don't come off as this like totally other person, you know? And that's why it's easy to do. People are like, how are you so comfortable? I'm like, I don't know. I used to just say this crap to my friends through Snapchat and now I'm just posting it on TikTok instead. Like, I don't know. It's just kind of my like intrusive thoughts coming out online. And it is interesting because so many people, as a teacher, it's so scary to go online because people want to pick teachers apart. You can't.
They care about every little thing you do.
Every little thing. Yeah. And, you know, everyone finds, and it's really risky to say, hey, I'm going to put myself out there and anyone can try to take me down in my career, even though I'm just trying to, whatever. So really had to like ask myself, why am I doing this? Is this worth potentially hurting my career in the long run? And I know I'm doing it just to try to, you know, be relatable and be kind of silly, goofy, whatever. And if someone wants to take me down for that, like, power to you.
Do you like I'm assuming, look, your students, do they follow you on?
I fear that they do. Yeah, they like to make fun of me.
There's no way they're not following you on Instagram.
Well, when it happened in middle, so all that happened probably the last 3 weeks that I was teaching middle school. And I mean, the next day, those kids are like, oh my God, Miss Dugan, I just saw this, blah, blah, blah. They're like going crazy. Like they're like telling me all these trends that I need to do and all this stuff. And so then once I moved to high school, it was a whole new district, whole new school. So they didn't know me at all. So for a while they didn't know. And I just like, I wasn't going to like announce it. I just was like, oh yeah. But I also was terrified because I was like, okay, is this district going to be okay with me doing this? Like, I don't know. It was like really scary.
Has anybody ever said anything to you?
They definitely have laid some ground rules.
Gotcha.
Like the district has, and rightfully so. I mean, these are kids, and like I want to protect my kids. I'm not here to like dog on kids or anything. It's all lighthearted and fun.
You can't say Stephen from my third period class
and nor would I want today. To. No. It's funny, they'll say things like, can we get in a video? I'm like, absolutely not. That's weird. That's weird behavior for a teacher to do.
I think we have an example of one of your videos, by the way. We can play the audio. I think this was when you were still teaching 8th grade. So this is from your Instagram. It's like 35 seconds.
Things that my 8th graders have said to me. Are you in therapy? You seem like the type. You look like my grandpa's couch. Now that the ops are gone, we can yap. A student got the answer right and yelled, "Yeah, I felt that one in my nuggets. Your pants look like trash bags sewn together. Ha ha, trash bag pants. I don't get why you write so much on my rough draft. I'm not reading all that, bruh, for real, for real."
Just like, for real.
That actually sounds pretty accurate. My kids aren't even high schoolers. Mine are 7 and 9, and half of that sounds like things they say now.
It's just their vernacular now. Did you guys see the SNL skit the other day of like Sabrina Carpenter
At the middle school dance?
No, but they were doing a podcast.
Yeah.
Of these boys. It's like these middle school boys. It was like, I've actually. How did you know? How did you get it so right? Even the little things are just like, what? What'd you just say to me? But honestly, that's the other thing too, is I'm like, all this happened because I have some really funny kids. Like, I didn't come up with that. People are like, oh, you're making these up. No, I'm like, if I could come up with that, I'd be doing stand-up around the world. Like, no, this is actually them.
Are they doing the 6'7" thing?
Girl, you have no idea.
Our text line has that now too. People will text in. We had a story earlier.
We can't say week 6 or 7 on. You can't even say that on the air
I
anymore.
don't understand it.
I don't think they do either. I don't think that there's actually no meaning behind it. It's just funny numbers now. It truly, I don't even know. I mean, the amount of times they're like, Miss Dugan, what's blah, blah, blah plus blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm not even going to do the math. Number one, I'm an English teacher. No, thank you. Number two, I'm going to assume it's 6, 7. Like, what? I'll say we're going to get in groups of 6, and I'll just see boys go, like, look side-eye at each other and, like, smirk a little bit. You're like, oh, my God, okay.
I don't understand. And I understand we all had ones. Like, I'm sure my parents looked at me and, like, when we were saying, like, I'm sure they looked at us the same way and couldn't believe the stuff that we just kept repeating.
Yeah, when we said LOL.
Yeah, or just, any slang, right?
You know,
I'm sure even cool or whatever seemed weird. You're like, why do you guys say that so much? So I'm sure there's some part of it, but the 6, 7 one,
But the fact that there's, like, no meaning is just actually, like, weird to me. There's just no meaning.
Song that came out last year?
Or it's just like a meme that took off. It's just like literally a random meme. Well, you know,
but I also didn't understand the Italian brain rot stuff, and so that also is just meaningless. And
how old are your kids?
7 and 9.
7. You almost said 6, 7, didn't you?
No,
you almost
said
6, 7, 9.
I saw it. 7 and 9.
7 and 9. And I mean, it definitely is like a lot more at that age. People will say, "Oh, you're teaching high school. What kind of slang is there?" They're a lot more quiet with it, and that's how I knew that 6, 7 was a big thing, because last year they weren't saying 6, 7 at all. And I was like, oh, it must have died out before it even got to high schoolers. And this year, like, my juniors are saying it. And I'm like, isn't that what 5th graders are saying? Like, I'm
yes,
confused.
my daughter's in 4th grade.
Like, I don't understand, and they don't know it either. Just, it's part of the youth, I guess.
It is a Fan Club Friday here on Cody and Gold. It's brought to you by Jay Rieger & Co. We've got Sarah from Jay Rieger. We've got Miss Dugan, who we now know is a high school teacher. My apologies. That video, that audio we played, 2.5 million views, Drew tells me, our producer, was what you got on that audio clip we played.
That's from 2024, right? I think is what it was. But it was like the most viewed, like the ones that popped up were most viewed. And that's, over 2 million views.
They actually on TikTok, I got 18 million.
Oh, that one?
18
million views?
Isn't that crazy? And I think it's funny, but I'm like, was it really that funny?
Now, do you now
Sometimes
go
it
in?
just picks up and everybody sees it because the algorithm finds it. Once 1 million people find it, everyone's going to find it.
That's true. That's true.
Do you know now, like, all right, I'm going to do 3 videos a week? Or, like, do you set that? You said initially you weren't thinking any of this stuff, but now that clearly you have a massive following.
It's like a whole thing now. It's like part of my life now. I try to do at least 4 to 5 videos a week and try my best. But unfortunately, I made the decision to go back to school. So I'm getting my master's right now, and that takes some time. That is tough. So
is it a different master's? I don't know why I thought you had to have. Oh, you don't have to have a master's to be a teacher.
No, people say in some states, but
they force you to, like, continuing ed is very much a thing.
The only way, so people don't know this, the only way to make any more money, like, if you don't get a master's, you'll get maybe $100 raise a year.
Yeah, my brother teaches high school. He's a PhD now. I don't think he would have
and
like
people
gotten
do
it
that
otherwise.
just to get the only way to make even 1,000 more over 5 years is to get another degree, is to get more degrees. So it was time. I'm in my 7th year of teaching, so I was like, okay, we need to do this. So started that process, and so it's kind of gone down to probably 3 or 4 videos a week if I can, but Yeah, it's like a job now. And I like it. I love doing it.
That's good.
Yeah. I just kind of wake up and say, what should I post today?
I need to come correct with it because Ms. Dugan Mike dropped the 18 million views. That was 2 million likes.
Okay.
18 million views.
Wow.
I
See,
need to be right.
she
I'm
knew
sorry
the
about
number.
that. Correct. Yeah.
Embarrassing.
I'm like so humble. I'm like, yeah, I think it was like 18 million actually.
It's a little
2
bit
million
2 million. If
likes
he had said
for the
10 million,
18
you probably
million.
don't even correct him. But when you start, dismissing it by 16 full million, you got to
get the numbers right.
Nonchalantly, like, no, it was 18 million.
How long is it going to take you to get the
Check your
master's?
facts.
How long is it going to take you to get the master's degree?
Oh my God. I don't know. I'm doing it in school counseling, and that is much
really great.
It's like double the time as like just getting a master's in education. So it's probably gonna take me like a solid 3 years being like pretty much a full-time student. So it's a lot. It's a lot, but we're going after it.
Well, I have all of the booze to help you through it in any way,
so
shape, or
much
form.
because
Rieger's going to help you
holy
there.
cow,
I got
yeah.
you.
And if anything, it's making me a better teacher because I'm like, oh, this is how I make you guys feel. Okay. Oh, I take forever to grade, and that's frustrating. I remember
Wait, do
now
students
what
care
it's
about
like.
that? I'm really bad. I take forever to grade.
Oh, I hated it when my
Yeah.
professors couldn't turn something back to me real fast.
Well, I mean, I have a full-time job. I'm adjunct, part-time, not even a real teacher, according to
Okay,
you.
wait, how hard are you grading it though?
What do you mean?
He's a pushover. He's a
Okay,
pushover.
but that's
Pushover
the
strong.
thing.
He's a
If you're
pushover.
gonna be a hard grader, I'm like, well, I gotta know if I'm doing this stuff right.
He's
But
also
if you're
teaching
like
TV, like
I'm
TV
teaching radio
class.
and television performance.
maybe I
the
should
things
have
I'm
gotten a
grading are
degree in
just-
that and just had
So-
you as a teacher.
Like
it would have
the
been easier
theater-
than whatever you're taking now.
You're teaching performance.
Yeah. I threatened them right away. I
She
make sure
sounds
it's
very
known.
skeptical of your ability to do that, Cody, which I
teach
understand.
radio and television performance, and the first lesson is
So many questions.
I dare you to try to take my job. I'll keep it forever. It's not that. I just want them
Wow.
to just choose a different career. And then,
Perfect mentality.
yeah,
So-
you got to really set the stage early.
Is it more
Weed
like
them
a
out.
practical where like they're performing in front
Yes.
of you and then you're
90%.
like, that was the wrong eyebrow lift. Your lips didn't
Yeah,
I don't
stay
think it's
what
quite that.
lessons do you
Like-
teach?
So for the lesson planning for radio and television performance, we spend like a third of the time on radio, or I don't know, a third of the time on radio, a little bit more in TV, and then we have a social media one at the end. Because half of the kids who are in the class who want the performance end of it want it for the social media aspect. So they want it for like Instagram or TikTok or those things. So I teach them that at the end of the semester. So the lessons, we have to teach them for TV, you have to teach them script writing and performance, and then we practice on like a teleprompter, right? So like actual stand-ups and that kind of stuff, like real performance. And for radio, I make them do like pretend radio segments. I make them turn in stuff like this. We go over like notes of like what makes a good radio segment, and then I make them turn in a radio segment, and I grade it.
So
God,
how
low
would
key,
you
I need those lessons now.
how would you grade
Will you come talk to the class about social media performance? Because that's not a job I do yet.
well, how would you grade Miss Dugan and how would
You guys are crushing it.
Oh,
my
wow.
God, you're so good at
Yeah.
this.
I really want to know how would you grade
You guys are doing great.
Yeah, A plus. No, I honestly, it's the one thing that both Rieger does and you do that I swear I cannot get through to students more enough is like, can you sound like a person? Can you be like, it is because you're talking
Be
about
relaxed, yeah.
Well, and be relaxed, but also like be a real like come off like this is a conversation and this is personable.
Right.
Is a very difficult thing early on when people are trying to get the performance stuff.
are they really wooden?
Yeah, they're stiff, or they put on a show, or they put on an act.
It feels performative.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like the more performative it feels, unless you're at the big end of like, like you do the performative, like Mr. Beast or whatever. That like you can be performative, but you better have like a lot behind it. It's like a show at that point. You're
Right.
you're the Ringling Brothers. If
People
you're
are
gonna do
seeing you for they like the performance. Like they've already bought into the performance. Yeah.
If you're doing personality based stuff, which yours is like it's me talking on camera. It's not like a bell and whistle behind it.
Yeah.
Then they've got to it's got to seem personal, like a personality. Which is you said, like people compliment you on saying you seem
You're
like
being yourself. I mean, that's what we do. I mean, we share stuff about our life on the show all the time. We hopefully, and we think we are, over the last now 6 years, we're relatable to people, and
Right.
that's
Yeah.
why the show works.
I don't think
You
either
know?
of us would disagree that we do not act any different off the radio than I act on the show.
And I think that's why so many people say like, oh, is it hard? I'm like, it's not hard. Yes, there's like, you got to prep, you got to think about what are you going to talk about, things like that. But it's it really is just yourself. It's really not that hard. It's just not that stressful. But okay, you made a face whenever he said Mr. Beast. When
I don't
he
know
said
what that
Mr.
is.
Beast. You don't know who Mr. Beast is?
He's one of the most popular social media people on the. He is the most
Sarah, you've probably
popular social media person on the planet.
You've probably seen like a video. Like he was even involved in the Chiefs Brazil game at halftime. Like he's.
So is this where
He's
I
this,
say
like,
that
massive...
I don't watch the Chiefs?
This is a perfect tease because on the other
that's
side,
okay.
I want to talk about some sports and find out a little bit more, Sarah. We got Miss Dugan hanging out as well. This is Cody and Gold, a little fan club Friday.
What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? It's Trey Smith. You're listening to Cody and Gold weekdays 10 to 2 on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is coming to Missouri. On December 1st, you'll finally be able to bet on all your favorite teams and all your favorite sports. With FanDuel, there's a ton of ways for you to get in on the action. You can bet everything from the money line to over-unders to which team will win it all. You'll be able to build parlays, bet player props, or even ride the live line. Whatever your style, FanDuel has you covered. Plus, with live betting, you can pick which player will score the next touchdown or the touchdown after that. However you play your game, FanDuel's got your back. On December 1st, you'll be able to see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. With FanDuel, there's a ton of ways for you to get in on the action. FanDuel, play your game. FanDuel Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NFL and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Danon Hughes here. I've seen a lot of stat lines in my playing days, but these numbers, they caught my attention. Flight by Yingling, 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, and all the crisp, refreshing flavor you want in a light beer. It's brewed by the oldest brewery in America, so you know it's got some serious history behind it. If you're into stats and taste, you're gonna love this beer. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer and the official beer of Danon Hughes. DG Yingling & Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
Airman here for Midwest Heating. Now, we like to approach life in a lighthearted manner, but with the projected rise in natural gas prices, this winter's heating bills may be no joking matter. Many old furnaces have efficiency ratings as low as 60%, which means you're literally burning money. So think about this. Midwest Heating has a variety of high-efficiency Lennox systems that can heat your home, drastically improve your air quality, and boost that efficiency as high as 99%. Saving that kind of money each month will be a nice help for the other bills in your life. Even better, Midwest offers up to $1,800 in rebates on qualifying Lennox home comfort systems and up to 60-month 0% financing with approved credit. Dial 943-8787 or go to MidwestHeating.com for complete details. Now, for 7 decades, it's the same story. Trust your air to the best. Midwest. Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Man, if your stream isn't as strong as it used to be, or you're taking more breaks to the bathroom than the last 2 minutes of a televised football game,
There's another timeout. We'll be back after this.
it's time to get checked. An enlarged prostate, or BPH, could be the cause. And Kansas City Urology Care is here to help. Fast answers, trusted care. Don't wait. Come see Kansas City's largest, most experienced, and most advanced urology team. Visit kcuc.com today. At KCUC, you see the best in KC.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down, 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we're improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's RexBuysKC.com, and I look forward to working with you.
Honey, that flu keeping you up? Did you take NyQuil Intense Flu?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
Yeah, You need NyQuil Intense Flu.
Undo your flu with NyQuil Intense Flu. NyQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms so you can sleep.
You do got this.
NyQuil Intense Flu. The nighttime sniffling, aching fever. Best sleep with the flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Morning, Zoe. Got donuts.
Jeff Bridges, why are you still living above our garage?
Well, I dig the mattress, and I want to be in a T-Mobile commercial like you. Teach me, Saldana.
Oh, no, I'm not really prepared. I couldn't possibly. At T-Mobile, get the new iPhone 17 Pro on them. It's designed to be the most powerful iPhone yet and has the ultimate pro camera system.
Wow, impressive. Let me try. T-Mobile is the best place to get iPhone 17 Pro because they've got the best network.
Nice, Jeffrey.
You heard them. T-Mobile is the best place to get the new iPhone 17 Pro on us with eligible trade-in in any condition.
So, what are we having for lunch?
Dude, my work here is done.
The 24 monthly bill credits on Experience Beyond for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits ended. Balance due if you pay off earlier. Cancel. Finance agreement iPhone 17 Pro 256 gigs $1,099.99 and new line minimum $100 plus a month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Oak Globe Speed Test Intelligence Data 1H2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
David is a real Prevagen user, and this is his story.
Nice to meet you. My name is David. I've been a pharmacist for 44 years, and I'm from Flowery Branch, Georgia. When I first started taking Prevagen, I noticed stuff just seemed to come together and fit like a jigsaw puzzle. When I have customers come in, I recommend Prevagen. Number one, because it's safe and effective, does not require a prescription, and I've been taking it quite a while myself, and I know it works. I wouldn't recommend something like Prevagen if I didn't think it was worth it because it works so good for me. And I love it when the customers come back in and tell me, David, that really works so good. Makes my day.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Testimonialist was compensated for their time.
Chiefs coverage sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back.
Hey, it's almost Andy Reid. Renner Garage Door has proudly served our community for decades. The best styles, technology, and family values. That's Renner. Get your free repair or replacement quote today. Forward and back.
RENNER, RENNER.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Back here on a Fan Club Friday. Fan Club brought to you by Jay Rieger & Co.
Drinking the Tiger's Head.
Tiger's Head. Everybody's enjoying the cocktail today from Rieger. And we've got Sarah James from Rieger in studio. We've got Miss Dugan, Molly Dugan, in studio. We're having
I guess we
a good
don't have
time.
to call you Miss Dugan.
Yeah. But I think
was
that
gonna
fits
let
with
you
the,
cook with whatever you want.
I think it fits with the whole thing, though, because we've been talking about your social media creativity and the following that you have as well. Someone was texting in asking, how is she not teaching today? But obviously it must be like professional in-service day or something.
Yeah, we had conferences this week, so those are some long nights, which I actually got food poisoning one of the days, so I wasn't there for one of them. But so usually for conferences, you have about 4 hours of conferences after school. So then they have to give us Friday off.
So admittedly, I grew up in a childhood where my parents didn't probably go to the ones even in elementary school, but do parents go to ones in high school?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I figured that this was
Your
mostly
parents
like...
didn't? My parents went
in
to my high school once. Yeah.
Phased out, I think.
No. I don't even know. Honest to God, I couldn't even tell you if those happened. I assume they did now that we're talking about it, but absolutely not. They did not go to those.
Just no awareness. Well, also the subject I teach, English. I mean, English and math and like those core subjects, parents are really, really on top. So my friend, she teaches like facts and cooking and things like that. And she was like, I think I have one conference sign up.
So she just hangs out.
Just kind of hangs out. The electives, parents don't usually, not that they're not important, but parents don't usually like pay as close attention to those because, and I mean, yeah, so I get a lot more, I would say, than some of the other teachers. But also I teach freshmen. So a lot of freshman parents are like,
transition to high
are
school
they doing
kind of
okay?
thing.
And like, that's totally understandable.
We're also probably just trying more as parents now. Let's be honest.
I have so many questions about your childhood.
Yeah, maybe
right now.
it's just something you need to discuss.
Oh, you think that this is a me problem?
No,
yeah, maybe.
no.
I mean, look, in reality,
Let's start the counseling right now.
Yeah, should I start practicing? No, I'm kidding. That's like so unethical. If you're seeing this, I swear I'm not going to do that.
To what? Offer me counseling?
I don't know. Like what would I get in trouble for?
I don't know.
I've spoken to a therapist. I'm sure that they probably think the
They're
same
probably way more qualified
the
than
rest
I am.
of you. Now, in the break, we were talking very briefly, and we were talking about people were asking questions on the text line about like who's single, who's not, and we had mentioned we had mentioned that Alex was single.
Oh gosh.
Sarah,
here we go.
You had mentioned, wait, but I have a question for you. So I want to start there. Alex is single. That's something that we've established and talked about on the show. You said, I have a question for you as it relates to that. What is the question you have for Alex?
Yes. So, as a single man, Cougar Club, which is great.
What?
By the way.
Wait.
So all the ladies,
Hold on. Stop. Let's just stop right there. Cougar Club.
Yes.
That was not what I was expecting you to say,
It is
but
a
awesome start.
women's only dance club. Happens at the Ship, first Wednesday of
Oh, I
every
did-
month. It's
pretty dope,
super great.
actually.
So much fun. Have you gone?
No.
Oh,
The Ship's a
we'll
great
go.
spot.
Okay.
So.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I've been to the Ship, but not Cougar Club.
Well, you're not invited.
Yeah,
You're
you're not
allowed.
invited.
Yeah.
But the lovely owner, Jess Rogers, she and I were just chitty-chatting because she and I are also both single, and the dating apps are the worst thing known to man. And we were talking about we need to create something, or she does, and I'll just support it at Rieger, create an experience where you sign up, and so it would be like, 25 men, 25 women, and we were thinking 35 to 55, because as someone who's almost 40, I feel like it gets harder as you get older. And she's in her late 40s, so it just gets harder. It just gets so much harder. And so, but you go, and it's kind of like speed dating, but there's an activity to do, and that way it's easier. But what
kind of
if you went to that?
kind of
So what I
activity?
want to know is what activity would you do?
That's a lot of pressure.
What
If you were going to do an activity to get to know somebody.
Like, would it be a game?
I think that's always an easy option.
I think like a team building game, right?
Just
what, like
But
build a
like
Lego
reusable-
together?
No, I'm not. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
I'm imagining something where it's like there's not a ton of pressure to like ask all the awkward like interview
Right.
questions. It's just like, do we vibe well? Are we having fun together? Are we like
Playing
hitting it off
Trivial
while
Pursuit?
doing this thing? Like, a team building thing where it's like you got to work together. And if it's like
Team building
actually
or-
I can't stand you, okay, then we don't have a good vibe.
Like trying to get to an escape room? Like I imagine on a blind date going to an escape room. That'd be a real speed. That would put it in a like. That'd be moving it along quickly.
That
also just dangerous.
Yeah.
escape room already. In that you've never
some of the dates I've
Well,
been
there's
on, I'm thinking
cameras
that would
watching
be
to make sure
awful.
you're safe.
Okay, fair.
Yeah,
Fair.
yeah. It's like team building stuff, or even like a trivia component.
I mean,
You're
board
on,
games,
you're
board
the
games.
team. Like
Right.
you do like a quick speed round of trivia with the person that you're talking to at the time.
In a weird way, I feel like it'd be better in a smaller group where one person's not designed for the other. You put 3 boys and 3 girls together playing a game together. You might find compatibility with one person more than another in that circumstance versus being forced in a one-on-one situation where you're playing.
Yeah.
Like if you're playing a game with 4 people, you're playing Uno with 4 people, you might get a better sense of who in that group you get along with better.
Who you
I've
gravitate
also been
towards.
married and have not been single in a billion years, so I'm actually the worst person.
you
to give
never
advice on
dated.
this.
You never dated when the apps existed.
No, I don't even know what the apps are. Those don't.
Well,
that
you know
never
what?
existed.
I
Brag
hope
a
you
little
never
more
have to
then,
find
alright?
out.
What's
I
that?
said brag a little more
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
sure.
Is that a brag?
Yeah, it's tough.
Do you also hate the apps, or are you even on the apps?
I'm not currently on the apps. No.
Okay.
Not currently on the apps.
Okay,
So,
that's fair. Neither is he.
It's
He's quit them for a
complicated.
while. Oh, okay.
Complicated. Yeah.
That's very.
We'll leave it
vague.
at that.
Oh, that's fine. That
Yeah.
works for me. Do you have? So I know what. So you do the student. You do the videos based on like things your student said.
Yeah.
I know over the summer you did things men should do in a dating situation.
Yes. How did I forget?
So-
Summer school for boys.
So summer school for boys.
Yeah.
Do you have?
Oh, boy.
Are there any lessons you didn't do
gosh.
that
I did
Alex
not
can
mean to
now
open
get?
up this
Here we
can
go.
of
Here we
worms.
go.
Can you
I'm
help
so
Alex
sorry.
out now with
Here we
just like
go.
1 or 2 more
Yikes.
lessons?
Let me hear this.
Well, shoot. I actually have an entire list on my phone.
Just like one extra one that
I'm
might
trying
help.
to like think about some of like the big hitters that I definitely got the really important ones out of the way.
I remember you talked about selfies on.
Yeah. We give our producer a hard time about that. Now, he's married and he's still taking selfies, and we've given him
Shirtless
very
selfies.
you know
shirtless
what?
too,
In the
If she-
mirror,
if
when
she
the mirror is like covered
in front of his car.
No, man, I'm all
If
over the
she
place.
digs it, if their partner digs it, then whatever.
Does
You
your
do
wife
you.
dig it?
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, look at you out here." Yeah.
She doesn't seem to mind it based on the
She's
way
all
he
about my
describes it.
headphones up. Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. I can hear myself now.
It sounds way better.
You feel
it. Yeah, see?
I'm sorry. What did you say?
I said, yeah, she's all about it.
Okay, then you know what? Here's the other part of this. I can give as much of my personal advice as I'd like, but there's a lid to every jar. Like, I don't want to yuck your yum. You do you. But from my perspective, sometimes I feel like I'm on dates and I'm just like, I just wish I could give you this little tidbit because I think it would change some things for you.
Do you think it would throw off the date dynamic if you just gave that tidbit then?
No, I've done it. I think I'd only give the tidbit if I knew that I probably wasn't going to pursue them again. Does that make sense?
It does.
You don't want to throw off the vibe right away.
But I'm also not going to do that because then that's just rude.
Like, you start just lecturing somebody in the date. Oh, you have?
I have done it. Yeah.
Can I hear more?
So we were on a date. It was our second date. And the first one I was like, okay, it's all right. And this, maybe I'll give him a second chance. There were a few red flags. And the second date, he shared some rather alarming preferences.
Okay.
That I don't feel are appropriate for
date two,
which I thought was a little aggressive. Sarah knows the story. And we chatted and I didn't really know what to say. And at the end of the day, I'm like, hey, I don't think this is going to work for me. You're really lovely, blah, blah, blah. But can I give you some, can I just give you like a little tidbit of advice? And he said, yeah, sure. I said, what your preferences, what you shared with me, I maybe wouldn't lead with that on a second date. Maybe once you get into the bedroom.
I think double digits is better.
Second date.
And he was embarrassed. And I was very sweet, very kind. It's not like I said, like, hey, brah, like, just slow your roll.
Now, prior to this, what was your feeling about him prior to before that? Were you like, oh, okay, this could go somewhere? Or were you already?
It sounded like she was a little on the fence.
I was a little on the fence. I think just because our life plans weren't necessarily in alignment. But, he's like, I don't know if I really like kids. Kids are kind of annoying. And I'm like, oh, I love children. They're great.
Right. That's also a bold way to put it. You could just say, I'm not sure. Just immediately say,
I hate kids.
They're real annoying.
Is this what it's like every day for you?
Okay.
I think that my biggest piece of advice, I think, for men going on dates is like, honestly, watch a rom-com.
Right.
Watch a rom-com. It's like
try to make it feel like that.
It's kind of a blueprint, and it's a fictional, so don't take it everything with a grain of salt, of course. But like, it teaches you how to flirt. You can learn a little something about flirting. You can learn a little something about, as the kids would say, riz. And just like how to take a girl on it, like how to pursue a woman is just like be confident and take her on a date. Like, just you can like learn a little something. Like watch things like that. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I just think it's like literally right there for you. And they're just like, no, rom-coms are so girly. But it's like, okay, grow up. Like, okay, I don't know.
Well, I think it's really just being yourself, because I'm coming from a place of authenticity and I want to be myself. And because I hope that date turns into something else. But what's not cool is when you go there and the guy's not even trying to engage in conversation. It's like, okay, I've got to do all the work here. I've got to ask all the questions. I've got to keep the thing going. This isn't any fun. And I think for women, that's the hard part. Or you come on the date and you dump a lot of personal things right out on the bed. And it's like, okay.
You get into the weird immediately.
You get into the weird immediately. And then he's like, oh, backpedal. No. Can't take that back.
Well, I don't know. It's learned an important lesson, and he has you to thank for that. So,
yeah, I think he's going to wait till at least the third or fourth date before he brings that up now, He's going just a little bit.
We were bowling, and I definitely threw the ball in the gutter because I was not focused after
that's fair enough. 913-586-7965. That's the Jay Southland Tow Service text line. Some people saying, it sounds like now it is dating camp for the boys on the show. That's what that's fine. We could all use it.
We have a largely male audience. Yeah. So honestly, this feels like it's going to help a lot of people.
But also, like, be you. I never wanted to do that this summer. Like, oh, I'm dogging on men, all this stuff. It was just like, hey, honestly, I have a platform now.
The common missteps
I'm going to give you some little tips from my experiences. That's all.
Is it, this is the other part. Is like, this is the part of teaching high school that I think would intrigue me is it's like being at the zoo in a way where you're watching people interact in a situation where you're like, oh, this is awkward. Watching someone try to date somebody, like that interaction would keep me very engaged in this is a weird set of time and life, and you're going about this a weird way. It's like being an observer in that situation. I think would be interesting.
Are you talking about being a high school teacher? Like watching relationships in high school unfold? Yeah, it's actually weird. I feel like I don't really see it as much in high school, in middle school, because it was smaller. Mind you, I taught middle school way longer than I've taught high school. That's where you see, because it's a smaller group of kids. It's about 100, 120 kids a grade. And they've gone to school together for so long. That is hilarious. Because you're like, if anything, it's so endearing because you're like, oh my God, everyone says these days, oh, kids are growing up too fast, all this stuff, kids are changing. No, they're still having the awkward, oh my gosh, we talked at the locker. Oh my God. Oh my God.
We're boyfriend, girlfriend.
He gave me this little thing to wear. When I was in middle school, we wore, you guys know the fighting necklaces?
Yeah.
That baseball players would wear. The girls would wear the boys' fighting necklaces. And there's still things like that to this day. And you're like, you know what? That's the great uniter of humanity. The middle school relationship, and it's still alive and well.
I'm trying to think about what the comp was for that, because I know the necklace you're talking about. I'm older than you by more than a decade. I'm assuming. I don't actually know your age.
Are you asking?
Don't ask.
No,
don't ask. That's another tip. Don't ask.
No, it's fine. I'm just ballparking that I'm at least I'm 41, so I'm in a ballpark that I'm at least a decade older than you. I don't remember what the comp was for, as far as what people. As far as we wore their necklaces. I don't know if there was a comp for that. But I do remember, do they still pass notes? Kids still pass notes now that there's no cell phones in classrooms?
The only ones I found were about me, oh, bro, I can't believe she did this, blah, 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 whatever. And you're like, okay, whatever. But they just try to text, I guess, now instead. You know what they'll do? Oh my gosh, I shouldn't say this because what if I'm telling kids?
No, now they're going to know you're onto it.
I'll be honest. So
I am curious.
The show is doing well and all this, but I must say I don't think we have a bunch of 16-year-olds listening to the show.
I feel better.
So
probably a safe area.
We'll be good.
I get so scared. Okay, they'll take a Google Doc and share it and just type back and forth on Google Docs. It's live.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, that's actually pretty smart.
Oh my God, I need to do that.
That's how we do our rundown. It's a Google Doc and it's live.
You're working,
I respect
but you're just.
You're never going to be able to keep them from passing notes or that stuff's always going to exist, whether it's a Google Doc or text.
And
or
I'm not even
a
worried about
note.
them passing notes. That's really not a hill I'm willing to die on. There's so many bigger things to worry about as a teacher. Okay, pass your notes. If you're not being mean or it's not problematic, but whatever. Okay.
If it's not Mean Girls in there and they're just actively taking down a bunch of students, and
if you're not bullying, then okay, pass your little notes about whatever it is about. I don't know. You got in a fight with your boyfriend, you're telling your friend about it across the room. Okay, great.
Passing Pokemon cards, because I think that was in grade school. So I went to a Catholic parochial grade school, so it was kindergarten through 8th grade all in one go, and I just remember. If you liked somebody, you would give them your best Pokemon card, and then you would put it, have it on your desk, and then.
Interesting.
But then, what if you didn't like someone?
Well, then you gave it back.
Oh, and you were like, "This is my worst Pokemon."
I hate Bulbasaur.
And it was
never work now.
Might have given back an expensive card nowadays too.
Yeah.
You should have held on to all of those now.
Because I remember Jordan Carr really liked me, and he gave me his.
Poor Jordan listening to this.
Who's the? He doesn't live here. I don't even know where he lives. It's not Kansas City, though, I don't think. Maybe he does. But it was, the Squirtle one?
Yeah. Squirtle.
Yeah. He gave me his Squirtle card. And I was so nervous. I didn't know what to do. I was
Did you like him back?
Boys terrified me at that age. No, I didn't know what to do.
Mom, what do I do? He gave me his Pokemon card.
I can't even imagine. What is this? Why isn't it a baseball card? That's really what I wanted. I wanted a baseball card because I was really into sports.
So you were a cool
up.
girl. You weren't like other girls.
I wasn't a girly girl.
You were
No,
a cool girl.
I was playing club basketball in 4th grade.
Do you both follow the local teams a lot? Are you big Royals, Chiefs, Missouri, Kansas, whatever version?
Missouri,
K-State?
mostly. I mean, I'm from St. Louis, so I root for the Cardinals.
Okay.
I mean, we're horrible this year.
Cardinals and Mizzou.
That's the anti-Alex.
Wow.
Mizzou by proxy. I didn't go there, but my sister went to vet school there, so I root for them.
Okay. That's fair.
But
do you have any local allegiances?
Not as much. I mean, I'm Chiefs, Royals, Sporting Current, all that. Of course, I'm
Current, amazing.
diehard behind all of them. But I wouldn't say I like follow them all that
You don't
much,
know
but
all
it's
the
like
rules,
even if I
or-
moved away, I think I would still be the fans of those teams. College, I went to Pitt State down like Southeast
Yeah.
Kansas.
Yep.
So it's like most of my high school, both my sisters went to K-State. So I'm like, okay, I'll choose you between the two. But I like Nebraska volleyball. So it's kind of like, you know.
Top program, one of the top
They're
programs.
amazing.
They're so
for
fun to watch.
years.
I was a volleyball player, so it's like that's my stuff. But I'm more here for the vibes.
So you watch it, you hang out, you like going to the stuff, but you're like,
I'm not gonna like look up the stats.
Really?
I don't know that stuff.
Oh, I'm
No.
very different.
I'm
Sarah,
down
you
to
came-
learn about it.
I'm like ready to go.
Sarah, you came running in earlier talking about the NBA stuff from yesterday.
Yes.
And that was the biggest story in sports in a while.
and you didn't know what she was talking about.
I said, well,
And then-
because the
well,
words
it was like a mix,
mafia
like you weren't
and
sure.
NBA were both used in the same
True.
sentence, and I said, is the
What?
NBA something different than I thought? I'm confused.
Apparently it is.
Yeah. So, but that's cool. Like sports are the. Can I say? I almost said a bad word. Sports are the.
Well, it depends on which
stuff.
one.
The stuff. You cannot
No,
say
can't
the
say
other
the
S
other one.
word.
See, there we
Yeah.
go. I taught myself.
Yeah.
We
See,
get
I
a
can turn it off
handful
with
of
school.
We
I
get
can
a
do it.
handful of curse
We
words.
do have a
we're
dump
allowed.
button. I mean, if you slipped up, it would have been fine. We can dump it. But
What's
yeah.
your cursing policy in class?
No cursing.
Ooh, you're a no cursing
Well,
teacher?
listen, here's the thing. I curse
Let
in
him
real
have
life.
one.
I curse
So do
in
I.
real life. Like it's my mom. She's like Molly Dugan, and I'm like,
she call
I
you-
know. But I can turn it off when I become a teacher, right? I'm there. It flips. I'm sure I've slipped up here and there, but not really. My student, this was the biggest shock of moving to high school. I'm talking curse words flying everywhere. And I was like, what is happening? They're like, sorry, we're teenagers. And I'm like,
Oh god.
no, if
I
I,
don't like
can turn
that
it
at
off,
all.
you can turn it off. So last year I literally made a swear jar because it's not like I'm going to give you a detention, but it's like you can make an effort to not.
We had one of
drop
those on the show
F-bomb
for a little
in my
while.
classroom.
We did. It was about a player, but we can say a certain few things on here that we can get away with. My problem, like off air, Gold knows, I curse quite a bit more.
Yeah.
But that's the same thing. It's like if we can avoid it, we
Then
can
why
probably
wouldn't we?
avoid it.
Yeah. So that's what I tell them. So anyway, my juniors had a swear jar last year. It did wonders because if one person cursed, it affected the whole class.
What do you do with the what do you do with the money?
It wasn't that. They didn't. Oh, I wasn't taking
She's
their
not allowed
money.
to. I don't think she's
Taking their
allowed.
money.
I don't think she's allowed to just like, yeah, that's going to cost
This
you
is why
$1.
you're not a real teacher. You didn't know that. You don't know those
You can't
things.
just force them to hand over
I don't
money.
know.
No,
She's
Why
not
goes
tied
in
in
the
with the
jar?
mafia.
No,
yet.
we went
I
back
swear,
to.
John, when I was a kid, put cash in.
I'm not kidding. We went back to elementary style. That's always my go-to is like, we're going back to elementary school. And I got those little fuzzies that like they do in elementary school. I said, once this jar fills up, every time someone curses, a fuzzy goes in. If this jar fills up, we're doing a timed essay in class.
Oh, brutal.
The whole class.
Has it
a
happened?
timed
Has it
essay.
happened?
They did not fill up the jar.
Okay.
So, but it was pretty close to the end of the school year. So
But they're mindful. They're trying, like,
they were
end of the
mindful.
year, they probably even
because
weren't
someone
careful.
would just like there was one where like within 3 sentences like 4 F-bombs and the class was like, bro, stop, like stop it. And I was like, yeah, that's what I thought. They
You
started
should make
like
the jar
policing each
smaller
other.
and force them.
I thought I got
force
small
them into
jars
it.
and I was like, but the fuzzies, I'm not like pushing them in. I'm just dropping
Okay.
them. So.
Yeah.
Who had
the
the most
strategy.
swears on your swear jars? Who?
On the show?
Yeah.
It's me. I'm bad.
Yeah, Cody for sure.
really
Like we all
I
curse
cuss
off
a lot.
air, but Cody, yeah.
Somehow
Now
my
we've all
kids-
used the dump button on the show.
Yeah,
We've all had
yeah.
stuff slip up on the show. But
My kids don't swear at all, which makes almost no sense based on the amount I swear around.
That you know of.
Well, they
Oh.
don't do it in front of me, and my kids are relatively like they're very much like their own people and don't like monitor who they are